And the guy said he loved his team. He loved us. He loved the fans.
Loved everybody.
Dude's just full of love, and I got to feel that for him.
Yeah, it was great. It was really nice to be able to hear and feel the emotions from Dexter. I'll put NaVi as well up there. No matter the circumstances, no matter how many narratives could have explained that they didn't produce their best Counter-Strike, still 3-0, still beat G2, still bounced back very decisively against NIP. Bit is at the top of the charts. Perfecto is overperforming. You can never put them down.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely incredible to see their form coming into this particular major. We can take a look at the standings, of course. As you alluded to, Maui, very much a surprise to see Team Spirit going through in that convincing 3-0 fashion. The fact that, you know, they had some incredibly hard opponents to be going up against, and still they managed to make it through. Huge props to them. Unfortunately, though, Maniac, we did have to say goodbye to two of our first teams. Bad News Eagles, unfortunately, eliminated at the hands of Imperial, and Team Liquid being cast aside by, I guess, shox's old team of Vitality.
Unfortunate indeed. I mean, if you're the Eagles, right, and you're 0-2 going up against some of the most experienced players out there, I knew that they had the quality to go up against Imperial, but in that very specific context, I thought experience would be too much of a factor. I thought that Fallen and the boys would know how to handle this matchup, how to, you know, limit their mistakes, produce a clean Counter-Strike, and that's what happened, unfortunately. Nothing to be ashamed about for Bad News Eagle, nothing to regret if it's not that first game against Copenhagen Flames, but their campaign has still been beautiful.
As for the other team eliminated in Liquid, it hurts obviously to see a North American team drop out, but even before the Legend stage started, I mean, shox did express in an interview with 1PV that there were some tensions in that lineup. There were some things that he didn't like about how certain people talked, just the way that Nitro isn't really as much of a captain in his eyes, and how Elish still can get emo. That's stuff that he's airing his dirty laundry out there, and I'm all for it. I'm all interested in it, but I almost can't believe that this roster is going to stay forward in its current form if they're already expressing stuff like that about each other.
Definitely a lot of questions for Liquid going forward. We can also take a look at the schedule for today to see exactly what is on the cards. We've got 6 best-of-3s going down across 2 streams as always. Of course, the elimination games will be on that B stream. We're going to be focusing on the qualification side of things up here on the A stream. So let's just quickly dive into some of the elimination matchups that we're going to be seeing. Imperial obviously surviving another day by taking down the Bad News Eagles. Cloud9, maybe a little bit of PTSD from yesterday. I don't want to bring up too many bad
No, but you're correct.
That very bad veto, but they are in a dire spot after that.
You're absolutely correct, Freya. I think after the fiasco against FaZe, and there's no other word that I want to use, it's an imperative for Cloud9 to react, to bounce back, to play with authority, to reassure themselves as well from their position and their might against Imperial, because they should not have been here in that fashion. I'm not saying there was no world in which they lost to FaZe. Of course, that was possible, but a no match, basically not appearing on the server versus FaZe, was hugely, hugely detrimental for their image, and I guess how much people fear them or not.
I think that most of the info that's come out after the match has indicated that it is in fact a miss veto, and that's something where almost like it's almost as bad to lose like that because it is a vocal veto, and for you to just be in the moment, say the wrong map, how nervous are you before that veto starts?
They have to bounce back as well. They have to show a different face today.
Yeah, and the thing is that, thankfully for them, they're playing the weakest team left in this whole event with Imperial. I know I might get some people mad about that, but that's just what it is. That's just the truth. That's the truth. It's the weakest team, and Cloud9 are a team that I thought was going to be advancing, so I think they'll be able to handle this one today.
Well, another truth is going to be G2 taking on Outsiders in this one. A bit unfortunate for G2 because they've had so many close games, but I want to echo a sentiment that you said earlier on after that NaVi game, Maniac. The fact that you said, you know what, it doesn't matter if it's close. Your result is a loss. That pushes you down into those lower tiers.
It almost feels like a nightmare mismatch, if you will, in this game, if you're a G2 fan, for the simple reason that from the quality of the Counter-Strike that G2 have put forth, I'm ready to see them in playoffs. I think they have Counter-Strike quality for playoffs. But the fact that they dropped 2 consecutive leads against the likes of NaVi and Heroic, I wonder where's the confidence at. Is there a little bit of frustration? Are they flustered by these losses? And if you show just a little bit of weakness, you know Outsiders won't go down without a fight. You know you can be 10-0 up, you can be 8-1 up, or whatever this is. As soon as you allow them to come back into the game, they'll do it. They always grind, they never let go. And just that mismatch of characteristics makes me feel like we are about a very dirty match.
I can't really imagine a team that's worse to give leads up to than Outsiders.
Yeah.
They are the comeback machines. Outsiders don't even care if they're down 1-8. They can always bring it back, and G2 is the team that you don't even care if they're up 15-11. They can always lose.
It hurts, but it's true. Yeah, that's why it hurts.
It's just the perfect mix match, and I'm super excited for that one as well. I think that Outsiders really do have a chance to be spoilers in this event.
And I think we still have to mention something. Like, niko is currently absent from this this major. Like by his own very extremely high standards, of course that's the caveat we have to put, but that's his first major in his history so far below 1 rating. The first in his entire career. We've only played 2 days. He has the margin to change and correct the course, but for the expectations that we have from one of the, if not the best rifle we have in the world, then obviously you cannot go down without a fight.
Yeah, it truly is do-or-die time for both of those teams in that matchup. Of course, opening up the games is going to be big, taking on Vitality on the B stream side of things. As much as you two guys, gentlemen, very pleasant. Little butting of...
Yeah, there is a bit of a spit fight on that one.
I mean, I like big a lot. I do like big a lot.
you do?
I think that they haven't shown what they had in the RMR yet at this Legend stage, though, and that's my biggest reason for concern for them. Crimbo, he had a fantastic coming out party for himself there, but at this event, he's not doing quite as well. We're not seeing as many of the clutches. He's coming back down to earth a little bit, and that's a worrying sign because Big needed that firepower. That's what lifted them to well beyond what they should have been at that RMR, and if he is just kind of having an average Crimbo performance as opposed to the just skyrocketing one that put him on the map for so many people, I think Vitality might be able to take that because a few people on that side are powering up.
I know, but how unfair is it that we actually expect from Crimbo to play the way he played at the RMR? This was so out of the blue, and it was so extremely positive and so surprising that I was almost ready to say it's not going to happen. It cannot happen. Bet has done it in the past, like Wu has done it in the past, and now we've all been brainwashed in thinking that all the rookies will just go from one event to then being monsters. But realistically, there is still an extremely long road. Probably the talent is here. Probably the potential is here. But I don't think we can expect from Crimbo to play the same way he did at the RMR, and that's a lack for Big
Yes, I know, and that is a big question mark coming into things. Vitality as well. I just want to get your takes, Maniac. The game yesterday versus Liquid, a very lackluster start to this Legend stage, to say the least. We saw Apex having his lowest rating, I believe, thus far, any major across his history. Were you content with what they showed versus Liquid yesterday?
I think it was just enough for them to gather a little bit of speed and momentum. I don't think it was extremely good or incredibly good in any way. The first day left some marks, I think, emotionally in the players and also even the fans. What I saw from Vitality scared the hell out of me in day one. Now, against Liquid, they reassured themselves a little bit. ZywOo found his footing as well, which we know is needed. Is that going to be enough? I'm not exactly sure. I think they obviously have the level to beat Big, and historically, they've beaten them more often than not. But Vitality of day one loses against pretty much anyone.
Yes.
Right. But I like that Magisk is coming out to play.
That's a good
What
one.
he did against Liquid at the end in Dust 2 when he was holding that B bomb site was fantastic. He got a 4K on one round. Then there was kind of a tech issue, but he got another 4K. They had to replay the round, and it's like, oh man, he just wasted that 4K. They had to replay the round. But then what he does the next round, he aces. Like, it's just like, he did the same thing 3 rounds consecutively against Liquid. Like, that
How many times do I need to do it?
How many times must I kill them? Like, why won't you die? Yeah. Like, that's what Magisk just did. And if he's on the map too, Apex outlined him as a player that's supposed to be popping off for this squad. So if they got help for ZywOo right there, they got the 2 sides of the map covered. Magisk on one small side anchor, got ZywOo just carrying everything with the op. I think that team is really a force, especially on the defense.
Let's start in reverse order for the qualification matches that we're going to be seeing coming up today. Heroic versus Ence is going to be at the tail end of the day. An interesting one coming into things, the fact that we saw Heroic going absolutely nail-bitingly close versus G2 yesterday. How are we kind of weighing up both these teams coming into the equation?
There's a caveat that I want to put to that game. The fact that on the side of Heroic, they usually use any fire they have, any rivalry they have, any drama there is to kind of fuel the extra plus 10%. That's how I feel. We obviously know with the G2 case, with niko, we could see how Kanan was giving 200%. And I think it kind of ignites the whole team. That was the same with NaVi during the RMR, looking for that final win. Where is the extra oomph to beat Ence right now? I don't think Ence is actually a team for Heroic that you know gets the demon out of them.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to come to bite back in the butt of Heroic, because it's just a team to beat. That's it. There's not a lot of fire or drama going around.
That's a fun way to put it. Yeah, what motivates Heroic there? But it has to just be the fact that they have playoff expectations for themselves. Of course. I think they've even said that they have finals expectations for themselves. That's where their goal is for this one, to do better than they did in the last major, getting stopped in the semifinals by G2. This time around, they want to go the distance. So this is just, it feels like they're just walking to the finals or for themselves. And yeah, I think that if they don't get themselves hyped up, if they don't take this match as seriously as they need to, Ence is a team that has surprised a lot of people, including FaZe. I mean, they're a team that seems like they can, on any day, beat anybody. And so Heroic, they even map pool-wise, they kind of match up pretty well too.
It's a red-hot match. If you're a fan of Counter-Strike, for multiple reasons, of course, we have 2 teams on the up and up, having better and better results. And also, what is kind of unique in Counter-Strike is that we have 2 teams with a very defined identity, and this is something that I love. On the side of Snappy, on the side of Cadian, they have a very clear mind, a very clear perspective on how they want to approach Counter-Strike, and they don't really divulge from it too much. So they go in with their weapons, they go in with their ideas, and I think the combination of two is going to make for spark.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see how this one does go down. I just want to bring Spinx's name into the equation.
Of course we have to.
We were questioning through that challenger stage. He showed up in his droves, but the fact that we were saying, his last sort of push through the ceiling, I guess, is doing that against top-tier opposition, and he has done that consistently.
I mean, you look at his numbers ever since the RMR cycle, and you're going to lose your mind. We're talking 1.32 at the RMR, 1.28 at the challenger stage, and now, as you can see, 1.41. How many players in the history of Counter-Strike have failed to stand their ground in the highest of stage and deliver their good Counter-Strike? We've had plenty of promising players coming up where we said, well, do it now. We're waiting for you. That's when you prove your value. And Spitz just said, easy, LAN, 0 ping, I'm going to do it. That's insane. It's so impressive that he's playing as good or even better Counter-Strike in the moment that matters the most.
There's practically nothing that Spinx can do in a studio anymore that's going to change how I think about him. He's a fantastic superstar, jumps off the page. The only thing that he can do now for me is get into the arena. That has to be the next
That's the last step, right?
Yeah, he needs to perform like this in an arena in front of a crowd because, yeah, the land buff is there for him when he's on low ping, when it feels like a lower pressure environment, studio, no fans out there just chanting your name or anything. But that's where we've seen some of these teams that have had these quick ascendancies fall apart when there is so much more pressure on the line, when they look out and see a sea of fans that are all wondering what their next move is going to be and if they're going to etch their name into history. Spinx is right there. He's on the cusp of it, but he has to get a little bit further for me.
Talking of maybe surprise resurgence, NIP coming into this one, we're going to see them taking on FaZe in our second game of the day. The fact that NIP came in so dominantly against Vitality, sure, probably was helped by Vitality being a little bit spicy and that map pick, but nevertheless, xantares showing up incredibly well. Then obviously they took down Cloud9. Very different fashion, was a complete tug of war. Unfortunately, fell to NaVi. So what are your what's your temperature check on NIP at the moment?
I can't say anything else about xantares, or people going to come in my DMs.
Be very careful with that one.
So I will say this. No, I'm just kidding, actually. It's fine. Actually, I talked to xantares about that whole thing,
very nice
actually.
guy. Yeah,
he's a great guy. He's a great guy. But I think that right now, what's propelling NIP is the fact that Brolin has brought firepower to match Rez. I think right now, they're both neck and neck for who is the best. I think we have slightly differing opinions on who is the best player, but it's guaranteed that they're both performing at a very high level right now. And that is something that NIP, they never really had that second kind of space-taking rifler. I mean, sometimes it would have to be Hampus, but now it seems like Hampus can focus more on calling. And DJL, man, I still just love what this guy has done with his team. T-sides look so much more fundamentally sound than what they did last year. And right now, I think NIP, they're a sneaky team too. They're like they're in a position where they could ruin someone's major.
Yeah.
I was expecting such a lackluster performance from NIP. I had very low expectations. Yeah. I think we have established already that structurally speaking, with xantares, there could be issues. The map pool was a question for me as well, but they have proven me wrong all across the board, right? They destroyed Vitality on a questionable overpass pick on their side. Then they beat Cloud9 in a fashion that was very impressive for me. It was really solution finding on the fly for Hampus the last few rounds, and this has a great value in my eyes. And they pushed NaVi on the brink on the map number 3. Granted, not a great performance there, but still, they have exceeded my expectations. And now against Furia, man, that's a tough one to call. That's probably one of the toughest ones to call from that round.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is kind of the most split affair coming into these qualification games. I do just want to have a few quick words about Furia as well. The fact that we've seen Yuri really popping off, I think he's the second highest rated player at the event thus far. That's good to see.
Absolutely. I think Caserado was stealing the thunder at the beginning of this year, but for Yuri to chime in as well, that's super impressive. Can't really ever count out Furia's style to catch teams off guard. When they played against Big did not know how to handle the strategy at all. When they are just taking bomb sites, playing post plants from the opponent's spawn. They played a post plant from CT spawn against Big, and Big had no idea what was even going on. This was a game where they just bamboozled Big, and this is where some of the rookie players from Big, Crimbo, Valvin, they just couldn't even fathom what was going on in the server against them.
And I like that we are focusing on Vertigo right now in these highlights, because that's low-key a story for Furia as well. Reinventing the map pool, reinventing the strength that they have. Moving into this NIP game, of course, it'd be discussed by the next desk, but the fact that Vertigo could be a pick, Ancient could be a pick, on the side of Furia, used to be just an Inferno Nuke team, now there are more strings to their arc, and that's great to see.
And that was a really interesting point that I believe Jacob brought up in the green room, the fact that it's quite similar map pools between these two teams as well, so he's very excited to see exactly how the Vita will be going down for that one. But we do need to talk about the first game at hand. That is going to be FaZe taking on Copenhagen Flames. And this is a very, very spicy one coming into things because perfectly illustrates the narrative that yesterday, Copenhagen Flames, that was their best shot at making it to the arena, taking down Spirit. Now they face the best team in the world.
We tried to make it clear. We tried to raise the odds and raise the stacks on what was happening in that game versus Spirit. We said your next opponent might be a little bit more complicated to handle, and who else but the best team in the world right now? Number one ranking in the world. Your Flames, you go from 1-0 against Spirit to now having to fight for a spot against FaZe Clan. And I guarantee you, if you fail at that game, if you don't show up, the 2-2 game is not going to be notably easier. So for Flames, they have their work cut out for them, really.
Oh yeah, this is a Sisyphean challenge for Copenhagen Flames. They got so close to taking down Spirit, and then it all just comes rolling back down. It's incredibly tough to see Copenhagen Flames having the bounce back they need in this series. Maybe in the 2-2 game, but this is where the deck is stacked against them the absolute most. FaZe is a team that, despite the one loss that they had to Ence to start to kick off this Legend stage, they look nearly flawless. They are doing so many things right, and for Copenhagen Flames, if we want to talk about them and their strengths, yeah, they've got a great team. They've got some great protocols. They even have a pretty decent map pool, but you need to have everything airtight if you want to have a chance against FaZe, the #1 team.
And something that we've seen letting in a little bit of water from the side of Copenhagen Flames, unfortunately, Roy's performance night and day from day 1 to day 2.
An X factor, a deciding factor on the side of Copenhagen Flames in a world where Yabi and niko now are slowly but surely delivering always the same quality of Counter-Strike. You can see on our screen right now the difference between day 1 and day 2 from Roy. I'll put the caveat that this is a small sample size, so we have to be careful, but the difference is extremely massive. Look at this, 1.47 after day 1 from Roy, and against Spirit, he was completely turned off. Spirit managed to completely neutralize him on map 2 and map 3, and you can just see the lack of input when he is not finding his groove, when he's not finding his footage. For Copenhagen Flames, that is just too much of a problem to handle.
When you look at how Roy was decimated by Patsy yesterday, that's the guy that was taking space from him. Think about the players that are in the server against him today. Rain, people like Twist. Does this get any easier for Roy? I don't think so. I think this is still an uphill battle for him. That was his best chance yesterday. That Patsy looked at what Roy was doing and just ate him up. It was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I can't even think about what's going through Roy's head, because when you saw that it was some kid, some guy that just joined the roster from the academy team that was beating you, think about what it's going to be like playing a guy that's been in 3 majors, guys that have been in major finals. How is this going to be any easier for Roy? I don't see this path being.
I know, and the issue is, or the enigma I should say, is for Huxi to figure that problem out as well, because we know how they like to use Roy on the T side, right? They like to take space and then leave him that space to just activate it and then free a rotation, then free a path for Huxi to figure out around. When that works, beautiful. Against the likes of Eagles, Ence, the first map against Spirit, it was beautiful. The T side made perfect sense. And then against Spirit, map 2 and 3, it doesn't work out anymore, and you become predictable. They know where you're about to finish. And who else but Kerrigan to figure out, if we have just put down Roy, then we know what's going to happen. We know how they like to approach the game. We know their identity. So it's going to be extremely hard if he doesn't find success against these guys.
I like that you bring up the firepower challenge, particularly on the side of FaZe, because the fact that we're seeing Twist and Rops, 3rd and 4th best players respectively on the T side thus far in the tournament, and you've got other names to be adding into the mix of them as well. But you also had some interesting statistics that showed that FaZe aren't just the sum of their individuals, it's a really well-drilled team together.
Oh yeah, the FaZe right now in the Legend stage have the best trading percentage of any team here. And you know what's scarier in a dark alley than just seeing Rain in front of you? It's seeing Rops and Twist right behind him, ready to trade frag you out as you're getting blinded by Kerrigan. I cannot see any way that this team on the T side doesn't get it done. They're so immaculate the way that they approach the game in moments where Kerrigan and Rain carve out space, and they have the best trade fragging trio in the world right behind them. How do you hold your ground as Copenhagen Flames when this is what you're up against?
And I mean, shall we just quickly touch on Kerrigan being the highest rated player right now after 2 days on the side of FaZe? How incredible is that, man? I mean, granted, this is probably not going to remain through the course of this major, but it's just such a scary prospect when he is actually finding the rhythm and having success, man. He is currently, by the numbers, playing his best major, right, after 2 days. I would very much be surprised if this is maintained, but it ties back to your point. The depth of this FaZe roster in something that I cannot even fathom. So many players across the board can turn around on its head and make a difference.
And this is what makes FaZe such a deadly team to be going up against. I love that you bring up the point that the fact that Karrigan currently the highest rated player, and yet he's got all these mind games. You know, we see him talking to the team right now, getting them ready, getting them fired up. And it's the fact that he's going to be coming in with this game plan, which makes it all the more difficult when we're looking at the map pool for this particular series. Maui, what are you thinking about this one?
The map pool is not pretty for Copenhagen Flames in this one. Just about every map that they want to pick, that they usually go for, FaZe is excellent at. 100% win rates on a couple of them, in fact. The thing is that Copenhagen Flames, they have a gaping hole in their map pool. If they want to pick, or they usually go for a ban of either Dust 2 or Inferno, just about every series. And the thing is that those are maps that FaZe will gladly pick up against them. So when we see this veto, I think the first thing you have to look at is what does Copenhagen Flames want to pick? It's a pick your poison sort of scenario for them here, banning D2 or Inferno. I think they're going to ban Inferno personally. Okay, they go for D2.
See, but we talked about it.
Right there.
I mean, I knew what you meant by that. I thought also that Inferno would be a safest value for FaZe than Dust 2 would be. So obviously we see here Karrigan is going for Inferno. Now, when it comes to Flames, they don't exactly have a lot of choices. It was either going to be Nuke or Ancient, but the fear of the wrath of the defense for FaZe on either of these maps, on both Nuke and Ancient, it's 100% win rate in the last 3 months. Not that they pick it, but they let you pick it against them, and they just might shrek you down. And again, look at this camera. We have Roy right here. Roy on Ancient, how instrumental he is.
Yes.
If he can find the space or not. If Karrigan can put him down, Nuke towards the very end. If we get to the map number 3, I might be a bit more open-minded, but this just barrels like a 2-0 FaZe for me.
I feel that completely, Maniac. One thing that I hate about Copenhagen Flames is Inferno, and one of the reasons they usually ban it is because Yabby and Hooksy are not good at taking banana on CT side. They frequently, even against teams that aren't even close to touching the major, I watched them play EC Kiev, and they couldn't take banana against that team. The entire team was in the dark on the defense. Zyphon was trying to hold down all of Pit by himself, just getting overrun because they never could even find any information for him. Those kind of moments, Karrigan is going to feast upon. There's nothing that you can do on this map if you can't have simple banana clear procedures, and that is a huge problem for Copenhagen Flames. I want to see them use Roy so much more, but he's relegated to just play this rotator role. It's not fun to watch at all.
And then it's the lesser of two evils. If you're Copenhagen Flames, what do you do? Do you actually accept to lose trades banana early on in the round because your takes aren't exactly optimized or fully functional? So you give a 2-for-1 or a 2-for-2 even that you know you're going to sweat out for the rest of the round? Or do you give up banana and then you allow a man like Karrigan to play with all that space and play with all that time? He's probably the worst IGL to go up against if you give him all the cards and if you play a very passive game. Remember, that's the issue that Cloud9, ex-Gambit were having with Karrigan, giving him space and then he would exploit it. On Inferno, if Flames do it, it's over for them. It's almost 0-1.
When you're talking about a well-drilled, a well-oiled defense for the side of FaZe, what are we specifically looking at that you think Copenhagen Flames might struggle to get through?
You know, it's really, I'm going to give you a really easy answer. Everyone on every position is good. It's as simple as it is. It's almost a reminder of the Liquid time when they won the Grand Slam, where on the CT you could just not find a weakness. Everyone was absolutely ironclad, solid on their positions. I think Karrigan is reading the game perfectly right now. Robs, don't even have to talk about him. It's like the most solid player you could have. Doesn't even make a mistake every 60 rounds. I just don't see a flaw in the defensive phase right now. I don't. And I don't even think they need a 14-1 CT side. I completely believe in Karrigan's T side as well, so pick your poison.
That's the thing too. I almost feel like it barely even matters how good FaZe are on the CT side because their T side on this map is so solid, and this is just such a massive mismatch in terms of how good the T side is for FaZe's Inferno and how bad the CT side is for Copenhagen Flames. I would be shocked if Copenhagen Flames can get 8 rounds on CT side. Shocked, you know. And at that point, you're already down in the hole, and then you're letting FaZe go onto their stronger defense.
Well, we're going to see if Copenhagen Flames can make a dent in FaZe's armor, as it does come down to FaZe's map pick first of Inferno up next with Scrawny and Launders.
Good afternoon, gamers. Here we are, about to kick off what will be a major qualifying game between FaZe and Copenhagen Flames. a tough loss versus Spirit yesterday. Thought that maybe could have been their best chance, and now they have to deal with FaZe, dude. What a heartbreaking reward that Copenhagen Flames get in this one.
Yeah, I think both Copenhagen Flames and Spirit understood the value of that opportunity based on some of the other matchups that happened. It could have been easily one of them versus BNE, the other one versus Imperial, and had really good odds in both those games. But even going up against each other, that was, that would have been the O2 matchups, would have been different as well. That changes, sorry, that was a separate point. But both the 2-0 matches and the O2 matches ended up being kind of more, they ended up cannibalizing both the more equal competition in a situation where a couple of results yesterday totally changed that. So they know coming into today, the matchup is going to be more difficult. FaZe is obviously the strongest opponents they could probably go up against. But that's what this is all about. I mean, Spirit earned that win, right? Copenhagen Flames got Ancient on the last map. It's a map that we know they are very, very damn good at, and Spirit completely outclassed them. They'll have a second chance at Ancient today, and I think it is a good map for them, regardless, even though we saw like a bad result. That was just one. But overall, Inferno works really well for FaZe here. They're going to look forward to Ancient and then Nuke to finish. It's going to be very fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to push Copenhagen to their absolute limit. If they play their very best CS, there is a chance that they can win this series, but it will have to be their absolute best CS. I mean, where they're going up against a team that will probably at the end of the year have 3 players in the top 10, which very few rosters in history have ever done that, if ever. I think that NaVi with Bit, Simple, and Electronic pulled that off for the first time for a team. Astralis actually, I guess, at their peak. You know what I mean? Like, this is the level at which FaZe are playing.
Rosters. Yeah. Teams with their names etched in the history book.
Brokey is literally flirting with best player of the year for a few months.
Imagine that.
Has fallen off a little bit in this major, and they might need him to play a bit better. But then on the other side of that, Kerrigan's having an insanely good stage so far, and it is actually important that he plays well because of the amount of opportunities for him to take the opening fights. That's always been the storyline with Kerrigan. So let's see what kind of CS both these teams are going to bring for us in this 2-1 matchup. Winner gets in front of the crowd, and that's what it's all about here at this point.
It's an important game, man.
Yeah.
It's an important game, and we're talking about a Copenhagen Flames who definitely want to improve on what they showed us in Stockholm. That's where they shocked us by getting into the Legend stage, or excuse me, to the major.
This is the major.
This is the major now.
Yes.
And the playoffs, yeah, that's the real prized possession. There are doubts here on Inferno for Copenhagen Flames. There are doubts. They know it, we know it. Jabby gets at least 1 kill inside of the CT spawn, but that man advantage from FaZe. The wrap around into the B site continues. Hooksy. Woo, that's a nice little shave off of the flank. He's got 2 more players to deal with. Here's the bomb, so that's all the numbers confirmed. CTs can rotate knowing no lurks. And they both come in from Banana. Now the kit for the retake is deep in construction.
And that's being guarded right now. So Siphon and Nikodas will have to pull off the impossible on this retake. Let's see if they can do it.
Nah, not like that. Kerrigan, quick close as Siphon is peeked by all 3, and FaZe will take that T-side pistol. So we heard Maui Snake, of course, on the desk, just saying it how it truthfully is. He said he'd be shocked if there was 8 rounds on this CT side of Inferno.
Yeah, so, FaZe at one point, I'm not sure if the stats still reflect this, but first or second best in terms of their T-side statistics in the world, which is, by far the hardest side these days, considering the way that the map pool is lean now with drop-load grenades and the M4A1S being really powerful. So that says a lot about Kerrigan's calling and, how good this team is on the attack. So let's see what they'll do now. Pace is pretty quick. Pressure to the top of Banana. Yabby and Hooksy were 2, also that Maui pointed out, have specific struggles when it comes to taking Banana control. That's where he said they'll struggle. We haven't had the pleasure of casting Copenhagen Flames playing so far in the Legend stage. So it will be good to watch.
Fall back from Banana with the util. They go for the deep nades, and it's not nearly enough damage to try and follow up with that pistol push. So a retreat instead. Flashbang still being held by this B site, and a quick little move over from niko.
Yeah, they're throwing the bomb back, though. It feels like this is actually just going to try to sell them a bill of goods, and I think, and it's worked. They've got 3 CTs waiting for the banana hit to come down. Smoke actually means nothing. FaZe made this decision before they had the info, and Siphon, with only the Mag 7 sitting inside the boiler, goes down. So this will be open lines onto the site. The last remaining utility will come out to stop the rotators from coming in the Arch Smoke and Moto, and Pit is totally clean. FaZe can drop their shoulders a bit, put this bomb down, and know that Copenhagen will take some armor and upgraded pistols into the next round. That's all they'll have to try to chew through. But for now, so far so good.
Clean and easy on the 2-0. Everybody's still moving those weapons forward, dude. This is good. This is good. What we need to see from Copenhagen Flames is the best that they can offer. That involves Roy getting back to his day 1 stats. That involves niko dominating with the op.
Best opper in Denmark.
You know, and if we're going to say that unironically, then this would be the game where he shows us that next level, that he shows us that value.
Otherwise, we have to echo Pimp and say Denmark can do better.
Yeah. Yabi also, I think, has to be right there with his rifle play. He's low-key. Just low-key because he's an unassuming guy. Real quiet. You don't get to hear many interviews from Yabi.
Yabi's a beast.
You know, but he is an absolute monster in the server when it comes to CS.
Yeah, he's the most promising rifler I see on this team. Him and, of course, Roy's sucking up a lot of stats. He's actually amazing. But I feel like Yabi is one for the future for sure. But here's where they try to etch their name into, into stone for people to remember and not doubt them moving forward. Because outside of majors, Copenhagen Flames' results are very disappointing. Right? They lose to random teams, basically. It's a huge compliment to say you only play better versus good teams, but most of your games are not going to be versus teams like this.
They are on-lanners with an asterisk next to a lot of other results. And we say, you know, Yabi is one for the future, but this is also a team that is fighting to be one for now. Map up versus Spirit yesterday with playoffs on the line, and they fumbled it. Here versus just the Pistols, the B site. They get past the first 2. niko's element of surprise. Deagle into the head of Brokey. Can't manage to keep that one under control, so Rain's Mac 10 washes him away. And we have 4 up from FaZe in their 3rd consecutive round win. Nice and easy for the T-side start of Inferno, as per all expectations.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to dominate. The pace is so high right now from FaZe.
Suffocating.
We'll see if they slow it down, but right now, that was pretty clinical. I mean, overstacking the site. Problem, of course, when you leave top banana open is full B execs are hard to stop. Even if they had all rifles in these positions, all of these positions can also be mollied out and naded, and it's very hard to stop T's crossing pool with their headshot angle fighting to the back. So HooXi is going to attempt to maybe stop them from totally saving, but they'll find it. There's a chance. No, Twist protects him. Bodyguard here for Kerrigan, and FaZe win 3-0. Full buy comes in. niko's is saved up for the op. Instant purchases, and this is the round they've all been talking about. Let's see if they can put up a defense.
And as we go into it, man, Kerrigan, highest rated player on FaZe right now. Isn't that wild?
Yes, it is not a great sign, but at the same time, it is still really important that Kerrigan plays well.
Yes.
But when we ask Kerrigan to play well, we're not asking him to be the best player on the team, right? That should be Brokey, that should be Twist, that should be Robs. And in a larger sample size of games, that will cost them matches if Kerrigan is the #1 rated player. That doesn't really make sense. But for Kerrigan, it's all about raising his floor, especially on T side.
So great sign at the start of the event.
Yeah.
Twists underneath the wall. We get to walk up in the apartments from Rops. And Banana, a highlighted question mark by Maniac and Maui Snake.
Does this Arch Smoke have a gap on the corner? I wonder if they left this open on purpose.
Yeah, you can see some legs. Yes, he can.
Oh, maybe not on purpose. Looks like it was a rough smoke.
niko with first blood in round 4.
He recognizes that opportunity as Kerrigan was going to try to phase it.
More smokes go down on the front of that B site, and it will be enough to turn Twists the other direction on 6 points of health. Ooh, Rain slides through the crosshair of niko, and he has taken a bunch of space, but he does have Roy very close. Excellent flashbang. Great support from Zyphon. Robs is going to run out having heard that, and Roy is so quickly on the return that he is looking for multi-kills. A 3K already as Brokey decides to walk back with that op and bomb. Roy.
He's got that old man strength.
Man of the hour here in round 4. Plugs the hole on Arch, prevents this A site from leaking a 4th round onto FaZe's scoreboard.
The timing was very tight there. I mean, Rain was about to smoke him out of that position and then be able to join the fight after the lane hit came in. Caused some real trouble for the CT side, but Zyphon flashed for him from pit, allowed him to take that timing to kill Rain, and he immediately understood there with no one else on Arch. First of all, it was going to be an A attack, and secondly, he now has time to actually get back into the site to stop the lane hit from coming in. And his rotation is really good to the side of default after this first kill. Again, open lines right here, and even protects Zyphon up on the halls. That was a really good start from niko, recognizing opportunity with a miss smoked from FaZe. That's something to watch for. You don't want to give up 5v4s like that. And Rain nearly made things scary. We've got to give some credit to Rain, too, actually. He's been playing pretty damn well overall. I think he had one bad nap and a couple very good ones.
Ooh, nade for Twists. Perfectly missed.
Yeah. Okay, they get him with the molly.
All right.
He didn't right-left it.
Right, yeah, it looked like it was going to dunk on him, but Twist just minimized himself. Unfortunate for Twist that the fire's right there with it. So, back-to-back 5 versus 4 for Copenhagen Flames once they've had guns. niko starting to lean over towards the B site.
Interesting. We have the op buy up here from Brokey. Arch wrap smokes come in. 2 in pit. Rotators are smoked, so Gabby, he's going to maybe look for some spam damage, and Roy always putting himself in position to... Oh! That was a very committal spot to go to.
Zyphon's turn. Last round didn't have to do much because of Roy's assistance. He cuts off the player from apartments. They still think maybe he's up there, but in reality, Zyphon, he's right behind Kerrigan, not even watching him. Yabi gets one over towards Arch through smoke, and Brokey, again, back-to-back rounds, is just going to walk away to save this off.
That was very strange, actually, to not realize he could be in Big Pit. I'm not sure why they were so certain he crossed over to Mini.
Looked like Kerrigan still maybe assumed that he had played from Porch, that he got the first kill from Porch, because that's where he was last round.
Looks like there might have been a miscomm there.
They expect him to be above and having maybe dropped straight under, but...
Brokey gets the one trade on Roy, and it looked like it was the important one, but that was not the case. The rotators do help out. So we can see from the X's on the map, there was some action from 2 players that came through CT, and they stopped that Arch wrap from getting too out of hand, basically. It's a tough job to know when you can enter the fight when you do get smoked out in CT spawn. You always have the temptation to wait in case the round starts to slow to a crawl, and you think, well, maybe we want to wait this out in case we go to CT spawn, and the T's don't end up wrapping towards A. But in this situation, they were really good in recognizing that it will be an A hit. We have to start to fight now, and they've been doing a good job of protecting each other. I think that's the big thing with Flames right now.
Yeah, really good tethering inside that site.
Refreshing positions, stopping Arch from getting out of control, and that's where, yeah, all the emphasis has been on. You can see that FaZe are consistently trying to make Arch as vulnerable as possible. All the smokes, keep attacking the Opera niko on the corner, but Copenhagen are not letting them have it. Still another buy, this time a no off from Brokey. And I don't know if they're... Oh, wow. Yabi through the total flames. He's going to get spotted in this corner. There's no help for him to get out, so that is a big find. Hooksy was actually left on no flashes for Yabi to escape. And they could have mollied, or they could have smoked his position as well, but maybe they felt like that if they smoked it, all that would do is extend the time before he dies. Still might have been a better play than just letting him fight with no support.
2 5v4s for Copenhagen Flames were held on to in a healthier way. This could be FaZe to crack through when their money's against the wall. We're going to test this A site once again. Nobody over towards pit, which had been Zyphon.
Jesus.
It's the deletion, and nikodas, he's pinned into the corner, so Brokey with a quick trade. That op, 3 rounds deep, is going to find its impact as he just drops Roy on the arch side, and that's going to turn HooXi away. He is done here. It is over for Copenhagen Flames as FaZe's 4th connects. But maybe HooXi decides to come back. Oh, yeah, just to whoop, whoop.
Just could get the op and get out. They're going to see him leaving now, though. That's the thing. So Tees will start to peel out of their spots and chase him down into this position. There might be some pressure on HooXi in this save. I wonder to what extent FaZe will go through to try to kill him. It looks like they're not going to put too much emphasis on this. See if he makes a mistake. If not, they'll let him live. So that's a nice pickup from HooXi. The crossfire that Flame set up made a lot of sense, actually. On the burst on mid, they read it correctly, but there's a little X factor there. We had Kerrigan with the Gleal hit that fantastic shot, basically, into lane, and that was risky for nikodas to be in the corner, but that's one where they could snowball. If both players stay alive, they get the first kill, they could have dominated the push up to mid, and then there would be no T's, basically, that could even get to the site. And that would also solve their problems of giving up bracket control, which they obviously feel uncomfortable about doing so. But Brokey, great shots. I mean, that op also makes a difference. If nikodas goes for a re-peek and there's only a rifler waiting for him, there's a chance he multi-frags.
He's been keeping that thing like a family heirloom, hanging on as nikodas with HooXi come down banana, 2 kills for it, 5 versus 3, the biggest advantage we've seen from them since they started buying guns. And nikodas is able to dodge that frag grenade, which could have killed him had it caught him. A little bit of banana pressure applied by utility here. Coffin, smoke, Molotov at the top of it, and a very quick grab of the bomb here from Kerrigan. Look at it transport Brokey's op upwards. HooXi attacks it though over the fire. Rops doesn't see it coming, and Kerrigan will hit that op shot. But then the peek from the balcony. That's what costs Kerrigan. Rain answers it, but this is a 1v5, and he looks away from the smoke as HooXi comes back through that utility twice, man. Sneaky HooXi today.
Yeah, he is. He has been just floating around. Hard to read. Everybody goes down. I mean, Flames are playing super well, and they're really not playing scared of FaZe. They're not allowing them to get through with the executes. I mean, very few of these rounds are coming down to bomb plants since the first couple, and they have actually worked through all the money left on FaZe. So there's just this AK on Rops, and they made a concentrated effort to try to get Brokey on the op a couple of times, and it has actually made a difference. Which again, you just don't see it that much T-side Inferno. So I wonder if they're going to try to get it again in the future. So that'll limit the amount of full buys they can get. Brokey putting in the Konami code before he throws this smoke.
12.5 buttons later, it's lined up.
They throw a bad arch smoke. I don't know how their arch smokes keep missing.
Tech9's pushed very close. Flashbang comes over for it. Zyphon's going to eat it, and then suddenly when he regains vision, there's Tech9's all around him. But HooXi, he's got a helping hand with 3.
Get you a friend like HooXi.
Kills them all, including that AK on Rops, what was meant to be the biggest problem. Tech9 from Brokey eventually comes and joins his teammates after trying to set them up, and that is empty-handed for the side of FaZe Clan.
Sometimes smokes get missed on purpose, and you have to judge based on the map. Like, did they do that? I think the one where they threw it versus nikodas, it clearly was a bad smoke or slightly off. This one was just so off that it seemed like maybe they did it to keep anybody at arch staring into mid, trying to punish this opportunity. And since it was a full Halls waterfall, there's a chance that FaZe did actually throw this on, wrong on purpose. Could leave it open.
From Rain on the entry, sends one over the shoulder of nikodas. And no forward lane setup this time from Copenhagen Flames. They're going to lean back into that pit. Just looking to deal with the pistol pressure. But so far, so good for Copenhagen Flames. This is, of course, remember the 3-0 start from FaZe off of the pistol round win. Rifle rounds have looked strong.
The reinforcements from HooXi this time over on B.
Quick swing. Uh-oh. Oh! You couldn't do that twice. Nade lands on the half wall. That's an Easter egg. Cool.
Well, they haven't got much out of that. Back to niko.
Yeah. And that op, gonna lock in another kill. A little bit of a split with Robs going up into the apartments. That'll keep him away from the other two. The future of FaZe in these three players. Talented core. Deagle through the wall. Zyphon, arguably, lucky to be alive at this point. Oh, excuse me. No, it was a P250, not the Deeg. Not the Deeg. Zyphon will catch them just jumping around. Twist is going to finish off what he started. Roy, nice little snap back onto that box.
Right.
3 kills easy inside sight.
Roy's been cooling. Dude, Copenhagen playing good CS right now, man. I mean, they're keeping up. I wouldn't even say FaZe are playing badly by any means. It's a lot of pressure to deal with. The individuals look fine. They look comfortable. They're not scared of FaZe, and this T side will have to be earned. They're gonna have to go to their limits. I think what we've seen is that probably the best part about Kerrigan is the longer the game goes on, the better the calls get, because he actually does a good job of actually using the information that he's seen in the past rounds to make the calls better and better. But early on, sometimes they'll have a slow start here or there.
Ooh, but right back into the rifle rounds, and we already have banana presence from Copenhagen Flames.
You got to really shout out HooXi's support in a lot of these situations. All the flashes have been hitting. He's been doing a good job of being second to peak and not let his teammates die.
Individual levels looking very good from Flames.
Yeah.
Looking competitive, which is what we needed. And banana control, again, was a big question mark. It will be again on the T side. Not an easy thing to do. It was flagged coming into this game. But in terms of the defensive side of banana, that was good. Great start. Electric start, in fact. 2 kills that easily. Leaves what's left of FaZe to just maybe try their hand at a little bit of a B-pop. It's a 2v2 for now, but we already see Roy very quickly rotating through the CT spawn with an entire belt of utility.
Great HG grenade right there.
Rain comes through the side of that smoke. HooXi's got him. Dead to rights. And Brokey 1v5. Nothing. HooXi, solid round from him. An assistance towards that banana hold.
Yep, HooXi's been pervasive. All his off angles have been solid. Again, his flash support has been beautiful. It's been round winning. Basically, we've seen him play almost every position on the map so far with the rifle. I can't remember HooXi being this much of a rotator, and I think it's working out so beautifully. It's really fun to watch him play so far. He said, I have to get a new co-commentator because after Flames didn't win 2-0, you put 5 Swedish flags under your tweets and your pick'ems, and HooXi said that's the absolute worst thing you could do.
Man, I tried to make eye contact with him at breakfast this morning.
Yep.
He just looked away.
Just looked away. Yeah. You deserve nothing.
I said, good luck, HooXi.
And then he said,
He spat on the floor.
He spat on the floor.
Nice guys, the Copenhagen Flames, but yes, I am a little salty. I do still truly believe that the Spirit match will be their best chance, but that doesn't mean that I don't believe that they can still upset versus others. And so far today, it's looking good, man. All the pieces that need to connect are. And Brokey, he's got a little something on this one. Bomb plant, looking for that injection of money, but Roy has the 6th sense. He has it.
He felt that.
He's a card reader.
Yes, he was a blackjack dealer.
Once upon a time. Now, he's a Counter-Strike star. 7 rounds for Copenhagen Flames after a 0-3 start.
Yeah, with 5 straight and no signs of slowing down.
Feathers and bones. Best voice line in the game. Another gun round here from FaZe.
And now they'll look towards a slower default with Halls involved. But Flames have not been playing inside of halls almost ever. They are comfortable giving this up. Again, it's where I think they've been their absolute most impressive is with their rotators from B to A. B side ultimate just fine. They're up in trades at the starts of rounds on Banana themselves. But this so far is a good start from FaZe. They draw out a lot of CT utility. They take over top Banana without losing any damage even. Health bars are full. They can peel back. And immediately Copenhagen Flames come to steal this information, but they keep 3 here.
Oh, nade is excellent for Yabby, but two headshots with the bomb dropped at his feet. He's on 40 health, and it's just 1-2 straight between the eyes of FaZe's 2 peaks. Damn. And, you know, we tried to hype up Yabby, but we hadn't really seen a round from him yet. You know, he was pretty quiet at 5 and 3, just everybody else doing their jobs around him. Here, though, he fights again with a third from him. Brokey double kill back the other way, wants to chase, smokes on both sides of this bomb site, pushes through, gets another kill, but as he pulls out that bomb, Roy pulls him back to reality. Copenhagen Flames continue on.
They keep playing like this, they'll win. They're just the better team right now. Here is a good call from Kerrigan. They decide to attempt to wait out the first initial volley of grenades. That works out. No damage at that point. They get to the half wall. They take over top Banana, but then they peel back and wait for the re-aggression. They specifically knew that the coffin splash was going to come in this position, and then they jumped for the attack, and Yabby traded out 2 without dying. I mean, that's a moment where you're like, okay, now we've got good calls that aren't working out here for FaZe. What happens next? And they immediately go into a fast attack towards A.
Changing up that tempo. Nikita is able to posture inside library. Rain, nice deeg. Royd, better trade. It's a quick end to that arch wrap.
And the molly on lane, that slows things down dramatically. That would have been solid if they had Roy in that spot. They can attack in this position as well.
Siphon drops down into the little pit, but yet again, Roy is not missing. He is everywhere on this A site. He's ahead of Arch when he needs to be, and because of that Molotov, just stopping lane for a moment, lets him get right back into the mix, and lets Copenhagen Flames continue to a 9-4 lead.
None of their fights are too difficult. I love the call from FaZe to go that quickly into A. After what just happened, that might be a moment where you celebrate a little bit if you're Copenhagen. Like, things are working out so beautifully. And you think FaZe are going to be foggy, they're going to be losing confidence, and FaZe say, no, let's just hit A super quickly. But still, Copenhagen stays sharp.
Seven-round streak from the Flames with no bomb plant.
And this is FaZe's map pick as well.
And we know that Ancient tends to be in the Flames' back pocket. They lost it versus Spirit yesterday, which kind of makes a little bit of a question. But look at this. Look at this pile of bodies from FaZe. Roy gets into it, 20 health left over for the repeat. They get him, but Jabby's right there to just apply that pressure and not give FaZe a chance to breathe, to gain a little momentum. He rounds that arch side, and Rox looking for the entry inside sight. Nikita's minimal cover, but Yabby does it all.
Oh man, Yabby. He was at B 2 seconds ago. Now he's on A. They did it again, man. The rotators, they're there so fast. Like, the bat signal gets put up, and they just know how to get in position to help out. I mean, like, considering the amount of pressure FaZe are putting on, Copenhagen are answering equally or maybe even more back with how quickly and comfortably they're rotating. Maybe FaZe need to try to fake because the rotations are so influenceable. I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, that nade. 2 players down to the 50s.
Man, I can't believe Nikitas is opping hard. He's done this a couple of times. It's actually worked out too.
FaZe are getting rocked. They are getting rolled. There is an auto sniper in the hands of Hooksy.
Okay, but now Pit is dead. Bomb is in a spot where they can get it back. And they've established on the A side, so this is FaZe's best chance. Last round of the half. Can they put this together? They've attracted the attention of all of the defenders to rotate over, but now they are stuck behind smokes for once in their
half.
Once in their half.
After 8 rounds straight with no bomb plants, FaZe get it down. The best position that they have been in since they won that 4th. Which felt ages ago. Utility starts to come out for the retake. Robs is toying with the idea of a flank, and sure enough, that one works out wonderfully. niko goes down, man advantage for FaZe to hang on to, and Twists gets Yabi. There we go, a 5th for FaZe at least.
That is
but a phenomenal CT side from Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah, that was better than they've done before. That's such an improvement. You watch that and you wonder how they'd lose to anybody on CT side. Inferno, that was really good. What can you say? That round exemplified exactly what FaZe needed to do, was kill the A players and get the rotators smoked out. They hadn't been able to do that a single time, even though their game plan was dedicated to this one idea. And full credit for Copenhagen Flames for not getting scared whatsoever, keeping the communication high, which it must have been to have those rotations just be so fluid at all times. And then again, over at the B site where it was brought up on the desk that might be a question for their weaker half of the map, Yabi did a great job. I mean, there was one time where he got isolated and killed and HooXi didn't help him. Every other time after that, HooXi was there supporting with flashes. Yabi's aim was fantastic. I mean, they just had no weaknesses.
Perfect formula for the Danes. While under threat from FaZe on Inferno. Robs falls onto the balcony. He's got 3 players coming at him. Lets the first one and the second and the third go by.
Oh!
Zyphon connects to the head. Broky comes out from Boiler with a little bit of a recovery, but there's players all over the place, and niko is still silently creeping through apartments. Broky knows that he is in between. Oh, but he turns it into the Boiler kill. And now man advantage here for FaZe. So they can focus on the retake. They've dealt with that lurk. Everybody else inside this site or on Grave. And that contact versus Javi, that's the start they need. Zyphon dead.
Wow.
And FaZe will start the second half with a pistol round win.
Small thing, but the efficacy of those flashbangs allowed enough leverage for the Arch players to get to a point where they could have some fair fights. So those 2 saves were huge. And of course, Broky's kill inside Boiler, that tips the scales entirely. The bottom half of the map, and this situation is empty at that point. And wow, they smoked him, all kerneled up within the site. So that's a big win. Can't let anything slip in a match like this.
Impact from Broky there to find that Boiler lurk.
Yeah.
Clean kill too.
It's been definitely doing okay. Rops, you don't have to see Rops slip in a position like that and not get a kill, especially on a pistol round. Let 3 go by.
Yeah.
Felt like he was comfortable with that idea, but maybe he shouldn't have felt so safe.
Time for Robs to try and turn this map around. He is currently 4-12.
Yeah, how often do you get to say that? Twist has also been the first or second best player over a longer period of time now for FaZe in terms of straight up impact. Number of important matches, he's been at the top of the scoreboard. 5 out of his last 6 maps have been above a 1.0 rating. Flames get a little bit of space here, but there's no real issue with FaZe peeling back. They aren't keeping eyes on Banana, so they'll feel a little bit insecure, pull an extra CT, but it is the right call, of course.
Roy gets past that flash.
Oh my god, Roy's in a great spot. Whoa, Brain ducks under that.
Yeah.
That's where Roy was holding for the crouch peek as well.
Little burst from the MP9, taps in from Rops, and that is an excellent conversion here from FaZe. But remember, they started the last half with a 3-0 start. You know, there are still red flags on this map for Copenhagen Flames. We need to wait to see how Banana Control starts going for the T side.
Yeah, I mean, those questions were mostly on CT, and they did such a good job there, so we'll see. But yeah, we ended up talking more about how good FaZe are on T side and how poor Copenhagen Flames CT defenses can be. And the story has flipped, as a lot of stories have flipped at this Legends stage for certain teams and players.
Oh, HooXi. Oh my god, gets run down by Kerrigan. Wild spray from Rain with a trade. And damage onto Yabi. Copenhagen Flames want to keep up that B pressure.
niko already has an op, actually. It's a bit of a bonus here from FaZe. If they steal this op away, we'll see if they even win the round, though.
Yeah, Rain got away with 1 point of health.
Yeah.
Copenhagen Flames peel back ever so slightly.
There will be no gamble or stack, and there's enough utility to chill a little bit. You're asking for a lot from a FaMAS and a player with 1 HP and an MP9 to hold on to B. Could be the right call here from the Flames. We're talking no smokes playing quad. It's quite risky, but there is there's no molly left here for Copenhagen Flames, so it might be a spot where Brokey could save the day.
Wall of smokes comes over.
Rob's rotation over.
Rob's trying to get the coffin. Brokey. FaMAS kill is good. Remember, Rain incredibly low HP. Robs versus 3. Oh! He gets Roy in the back of the head. Leaves Twist and niko's in the 1v1, and Twist is going to give a little bit of space for the post plant. Now the AWP is looking to post up. Twist is looking to rotate through. Deep line of sight. Contact confirmed.
Oh, what a shot.
Gets the headshot on top.
Oh, man, that's a clutch shot right there. The single scope flick from niko's in the 1v1. Not only does he win the round, but he holds on to the AWP. That would have been happily taken by Twist, handed over to Brokey in this next round. And even though it's a tough bonus, as Robs finds a way to push through the smoke and pick up 2, it's saved here by niko's. What a shot. That one's nasty.
Great clutch.
Right in the head.
Early for this T side as well.
Keeping the lead. Can't sleep on these guys.
Rops opens up though. Zyphon's dead. Rops looking to peel away from this. Roy slow on the chase. We'll give him that space to tuck away.
Yeah, some damage, but no kill. But here's a situation where FaZe actually did good with the money. I mean, that was a round where it's like a bunny ears quote bonus, but usually in a round like that, you end up not being able to buy the next. It just costs too much. FaZe still put together a very healthy, 4 rifles, 1 MP9.
And do enough to pressure the T's away from the base of
They've
banana.
got
We saw
bottom
Yabi try to
with a
tuck
kill. Yeah.
Tried. He wanted to fight for it. Now they've been smoked off ever since. Kerrigan clearing all of these corners, burning the clock to 45.
I really like this from FaZe, kind of ready for anything.
Not shying away from the action.
Not getting ready any fast flanks, and pit's wide open, so Graveyard will be the guy to watch to defend against this potential lurk.
CT's 1 flash, so it's just going to need to be the kills on the execution. Nobody inside of the pit. Hooksy first to die to Twist. Here comes the peek from Robs. He gets his second of the round. Yavi and niko's though still coming in from Arch. And Brokey under pressure up close. niko's hits that first shot. Gunned down by Kerrigan as he slides in with that SMG again.
High pressure moment there.
Back and forth.
Yeah, really quick. Nice trade from niko's into Graveyard. That could have easily been a snowball from Rops after his first frag, because his main priority was taking out the halls, and then he has a headshot angle versus the site. But they stay focused. niko's a very good opper in chaos, but somehow Brokey allows, I don't know, with his last bullet on his FaMAS, takes one out on the left side of default. If you want to talk about clutch, that has to count.
That one's going to send Copenhagen Flames back into the pistols.
Yeah.
Now the CT side gets stronger.
They definitely still look competent, but clearly they're going to have to work hard.
Yeah, going to have to wait for weapons too. Brokey going to post up. Rain peeking beyond with Robs, and everybody there. All 3 pieces triangulating kills as Kerrigan's now given the chance to move down and just sweep this away.
Yep.
It's only Glocks. What more can we expect, really?
Yep.
FaZe going to stabilize here. CT side starting well.
I think why FaZe win is they always play like they're winning, and I think sometimes that can make the rounds look a little uglier, but the fact of the matter is, like, they have full trust in Kerrigan. If he calls something fast, they commit to it, and sometimes they fall hard, flat on their face on some of the execs, but almost every single round they've got an idea. If you suddenly start to look scared, FaZe will get fast so quickly that it's going to feel like indomitable, and I want to credit Copenhagen Flames for keeping up with that all the way through the first half, but that story doesn't change just because we switch over to defense for FaZe. They are willing to push.
Can't break that eye contact when you're playing versus FaZe.
That's it. Yeah, that really is it. They can sense the blood in the water.
Ooh, Robs thought maybe that reposition would help. Brokey misses his
my
chance
God,
over
he
towards
got
Boiler.
awkward. Yeah, stuck in the doorway. Oh, Hooksy opens up B as well.
5v2. Siphon hits the headshot. Everything
What?
goes well for Copenhagen Flames. Guns, the name of the game.
Dude, you can't even stand in your default right now. They are everywhere. The stars aligned in that situation. Robs loses his trade. Brokey gets caught in the door. He was thinking about leaving as soon as Robs died. Jesus, that wasn't even the right.
It was a shot.
Yeah, the pre-aim wasn't even there for Zyphon. He still wins with the instant first bullet headshot, turning it to 2.
Dude, 4 insta headshots plus an op to end.
They are keeping the money honest for FaZe. The buys are coming in, but they're always a little sketchy.
Keeping this game tight. Sees the gun walking down mid, but how do you deal with this? How do you get him out?
You approach it from alts.
And meanwhile, Yavi's just going to get the kill straight up. Kerrigan forced into the open. Crosses over. Royal will be taken down to 20, but this is not much left for FaZe. An MP9, a FAMAS, no grenades barring Brokies.
This is a really good idea from Copenhagen Flames. They just wait this out because there will be a point where FaZe can no longer push. They don't have the utility to stay at the bottom of mid, and they haven't got their kill as well. They'll actually double up in logs. This is a huge risk, but it actually might be what they need to do. It's to call the bluff on Copenhagen Flames. If they're willing to use the utility they need to get out of this spot, that's one thing. Rain hasn't even shown his opponent that there's one more player here. Twist will eventually get mollied out, and yeah, he's stuck.
He's not going to take anything with him. niko with 2 critical kills right back after losing both of those close players. It's the opper to create space, but Brokey opts right back.
Hold on.
Here comes Props towards mid, caught by Zyphon, an open A site, and now Brokey's going to be spent sending this all the way through CT.
Man, I don't know. Brokey doesn't even feel like he can win
Saves.
this. They don't have money to pull this off, and
13-9.
damn, that late molly that they used, they might have used that molly just to take out Rain, who just died. It might have been the plan to throw that after the 2 players came in and incidentally caught Twist in that spot where it would have been a solid bait. If it was, they'll be clasping their hands and and thanking the man above for that, because that's the reason they're able to win this round. And we're at the point where FaZe have been pinching pennies to make sure they can get together like a competent buy that's healthy enough, but they always have the asterisk of low utility, and now they can't really save for the amount of utility that they need. And in this next round, they'll have to just work around this op and wait, but that'll be their last chance to secure the map, because we're in the critical territory, right? 12, 13, 14 rounds where one mistake can make the difference.
And unless Brokey goes massive with this solo op, from the top of B, he'll post. Pistol's getting close. Zeus for Rops. He gets burned out of his initial position. niko's on logs. Yavi just playing the counter flash inside of the wall. Brokey, there's always a chance he just shoots that.
He knows how hard this flick is going to be, but he has to take a risk. It could be the top of the half wall that someone pops up on a boost. Hobbit Molly comes in, and he has no choice but to respect it. Again, the util is a problem.
Tries.
He'll get back, but now they got info. He's actually going to leave all the way to the A site and just hope. All right, bit of a sound bait.
Comes back. The off chance, they give him a second serving. Gets into the open, still running the risk of losing this op.
Chance gone.
Pistol from Twists goes down. Rain will deagle back, so that's the top mid held for the moment. And remember, this Zeus. Oh, no, Rops. He feels like he wants to go for a bit of a peek. And now Rain's not able to trade out him like he did Twist. So A site falls to the Copenhagen Flames. They dodge the threat of Brokey, and a 14th round on the board for the Danes.
I think the setup made sense. Brokey looked for his chances. Did a good job of both taking a risk and fighting in multiple fronts, but at the same time, Copenhagen were super solid. Brokey loses the op. The question is, can he buy one again? This is the last chance for FaZe to get back into this match, or it's going to be way, way too easy. And again, their map pick here on Inferno.
And it felt like a shoe-in. You know, this wasn't a map pick where we had many questions, where we flagged the upset potential. was supposed to be Copenhagen Flames starting where Spirit did yesterday, down a map, not up. They've got Ancient next. A titillating situation. And FaZe, well, they're not going to start hiding from it. No, they're going to take Rain, tied with Brokey for the most amount of frags, and try to use him to hold back this B play. Nice deep angle into Hooksy. 2 players were already ahead of that. And so Yabi, he's going to try to still work. Banana nearly catching that CT cross and finding Kerrigan instead on the fallback to the coffins. Yabi's going to run the risk. Oh, and
No
not
way.
close. Just barrel stuffs Rain.
Is that the kill that makes the difference? That the B site completely compromised. CTs immediately go back to A, and they might be hunted down in this spot. 3 guns, that will make a world of difference when this goes to 15. Yabi on the double entry. A 5v4 for FaZe instantly answered back, and that was so tricky. They mollied Hobbit with Yabi pushing through the half-wall smoke, not seeing anything there, and then he understood that he had an opportunity to catch CTs, expecting some space. Maybe they'll start setting up for some deep grenades on Banana from the site. Maybe they'll start readying a push again after the smoke comes up, and Yabi decides to run through half a molly to get any kind of advantage he can, and hits a ridiculous shot. It's like a 90-degree flick on Rain, who sets himself up beautifully to watch that smoke. So against all odds, Copenhagen Flames bring this back. And again, it comes with them not being afraid.
Second bullet, dude, just beats him over the head with the AK point blank.
Yeah, that was the difference between a round won and lost right there. Fresh smoke with a kill.
6 map points for Copenhagen Flames.
No op for FaZe.
This is FaZe winning both pistols, converting the first for 3, the second for 2.
Damn.
Twist gonna lock it in though. FaZe never go down without a fight, and as Twist dives back into the cover of Balk, we've got a spray towards Boiler, and we also have Brokey here inside of the smokes. Awkward situation, but then the T's kind of disappear for a second,
They didn't
and
want
that'll
to
give FaZe a chance to catch their breath.
Yeah, they didn't want to give him that bomb back, but Flames use all that fresh utility just to secure it. Give themselves a chance.
Double man advantage. Solid start for Twists. And of that, that 3-man core that we look to for FaZe, he has been the most quiet. But the quietest turn killer here in round 25. Solo mid-hold before his help arrived.
This would be a statement and a half. Okay, we've seen situations where neither B player can trade on the B site in 3-on-5. Okay, some extra nice utility. But Flames are finding gaps. They have Arch wide open. I mean, Brokey should absolutely still win this. But Zyphon's got nothing else to worry about at a player in CT spawn. Look at this clear coming in. Oh, he doesn't grab that frag, but on this T's start to come back to him as they spot that the CTs have cheated over to the other side of the map, but Twist comes back in for more.
Third one chopped down. Nikodaz gonna answer. We've got the fifth player in Rops that should still be problematic.
He has to dive in the plant.
And that's not gonna happen. Time simply makes the difference. Rops and Brokey finishing off what Twist starts. 3 kills for Twist on lane side.
I like that they're always working. Still 3v5, and it looked like they're still giving FaZe a hard time.
Still 3v5 and still with multiple options,
Yeah.
B split. Or is it a rock back to A? Twists shuts this one down. Gives FaZe 5 more rounds to win in regulation.
As long as FaZe keep playing with confidence, I don't really have doubts that they could potentially pull this back. This is not too much of a scoreline to get back into the game. But the quality of CS from Copenhagen is very high, hard to ignore. And nikodas finds another opening. T-side up, efficacy has been high for him.
He continues on, up Banana. Oh, but Rops will bring it back with a frag towards Roy. This could still just transition Copenhagen Flames into the B hit, but they're smoked off, and there's 2 counter-terrorists in position. They leave. Or do they? Stalling for a second.
Look at the amount of mollies left. They can do a full exec. Carp at the back of the B site. Brokey has only HE to defend against this. His teammate in Kerrigan has no utility. They cannot stop this site hit from within the site.
And Rops' smoke, the only smoke all the way over in pit, so it's headshots or not for FaZe.
Kerrigan's in a spot where he might not get mollied. Second orange is molly coming in. Could be on him.
Site's blanketed in flames. Literally, with the players also here, but Brokey cuts off the front two. xantares and niko trying to round that corner. Twist starts to put shots through smoke. Brokey, the new mag. A player goes over, Brokey goes wide, and Brokey goes down to xantares. Bomb plant is a fake. Twist peeks, hits the first and second. And in back-to-back rounds, Twist starts to come alive.
Oh, with the target selection, he takes the rifler, but niko misses his shot. That could have made the difference. Man, that rested on fine margins. Brokey had to stand in the middle of nowhere and hope that they wouldn't continue running at him because he was able to fall back to quad after the molly expired. He didn't have his smoke to connect the emo pillar to quad and stand behind that as you would naturally do on CT side. And Kerrigan ate the full brunt of the God Flash, sitting up on top of oranges, waiting for the site hit to come down. He knew he just had to sacrifice, just kill as many people as he could and go down. Instead, he relied on Brokey on that rifle. And they've been impoverished. Brokey hasn't had the op on CT side in a couple of rounds now. But now he'll take this from niko, and they'll try again. What a shot! Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah, niko has been a terror.
Honestly, Brokey, perfect position to deal with them shooting at Kerrigan. So even though Kerrigan's blind and gets nothing, he had both of them looking up.
That's true. He had a nice little off angle there.
Tethered very nicely with his IGL. Did what he had to keep FaZe's hopes alive here on Inferno. But 6 map points turned to 4. Brokey, what more can he offer as right now?
Ooh, his rotation's slightly worse. He
this
waits.
Is sketchy.
Yeah, there's only one here on the site, and Rops, he doesn't want to stay inside the halls. He's going to look to try to get something.
Oh, but there's actually nobody in halls to deal with him. So it ends up working, and Twists again just comes out of the smoke. The Magician throws himself into the mix. 2 versus 4. They've got this site under wraps. Rops comes back, dies to Zyphon. Next challenge is Twist on the fresh Galil. niko in the corner goes down, and FaZe continue on.
They're starting to heat up a bit. They're starting to heat up, especially, you pointed it out, Twist, very quiet up until this point, and Rops could not buy a trade inside of halls. Everybody who came in there were having their way with him, and now he's starting to at least win some of his fights. But it all comes with the fact that they aren't changing the way they play. They're continuously taking the same challenges they would normally, and now the only difference is that they're winning. But Flames just need 1. They've got 2 tack pauses left. Of course, there is a chance for OT. The money's not great right now, so FaZe know they can rest slightly.
Copenhagen Flames not the only team on 15. Vitality, 7 map points over Big.
Oh, okay, so they're playing well. That was a huge question of whether or not Vitality would be showing some good form. You know, they look good versus Liquid, but of course Liquid didn't look great, so.
Comes Twists. Oh, just sectioning those off, and it felt like he had just enough cover to keep himself away from Roy, who also tried to push a smoke on timing to get a trade back to help his own teammates. Instead, it's Twists very quickly climbing that scoreboard, surpassing Rops, nearly catching Rain and Brokey, and after the tack pause called from the Copenhagen Flames, with still 2 more in their back pocket, they'll come in with the half buy here. Armored Tech 9s for the most part, a Deagle on Zyphon, tidbits of utility. But they have burned... Oh, okay. Kerrigan, how dare you. Last bullet, just find it, Jabby. They are halfway through that pool of map points that they had. From 6 to 3. Still only needing 1.
2 riflers B inspires more confidence on the anti-ecos than 1 op, 1 rifle. If something goes wrong with Brokey, is one of the dedicated site players. If that op gets the quad, I feel like niko could win the round by himself. But right now, FaZe just understand exactly what's going on. They've taken the space back out of halls. Rob's on the full flank. He can come in super late. There will be no saves here. They're making sure the late arch isn't under question. Brokey gets into the site, and Kerrigan wins his.
Ooh, but there are still 2 kills in from pistols. Brokey with his sidearm. The Deagle goes dry, and niko gives great cover. Then Twist, able to find 1 through smoke, but Zyphon has his hands on an op.
With smokes.
And the bomb. And with 35 seconds, Rops looking to maybe climb over top of oranges. Zyphon fake plant once, and that's where Rops is going to end this one. But a little spice, a little life for the Copenhagen Flames when they're not meant to.
That's literally what I was talking about. It's scary op being in a quad position. If the pistolers get a lucky frag and they overwhelm the op, then suddenly at post plant, even if you have nothing else to work with, I'm talking no armor, no nades, an op can win you the round if there's not enough retake utility. But FaZe handle it. Give themselves a real chance to pull this back.
2 more to go.
But I mean, every single round has been a fight. There have been no easy rounds here for FaZe.
No, this is
very great CS we're seeing. I mean, out of both squads, maybe FaZe would look at themselves and say, we're not playing our best today. Our core hasn't completely shown up, but I mean, you can give credit to Copenhagen Flames for making that as difficult as possible.
And they're starting to shine, starting to polish.
Oh, Kerrigan's on the op, 2 actually in this situation. We've seen it before. He's even primary op on his teams in the past. And with his form right now, I believe in it more. I think and he's kind of resigned to being a bottom fragger in the past and really said, okay, I'm going to set up my teammates every time. But I think he's given himself more respect, not only as a leader, but also as a fragger, and has put more individual emphasis on his team play. And it's definitely paid off. FaZe do not close out tournaments without him, even as an individual.
Oh, man.
Whoa, this is getting
alone.
very close to Rain. I mean,
oh, but he gets Hooksy all the way
he's using his entire mag.
But there's 4 more players right there. Rain just sets himself up to die, and Kerrigan misses his 1 chance, his second one as well. Tech9's out. He tries to wrap back around Coffins. Brokey coming over and hoping somebody would climb, but that's not the case.
They have 2 ops on this retake.
Oh, this is not ideal. T's deep in this bomb site. And Kerrigan already on the backside of Coffins. We get a patient look from Twists down mid, but eventually he is going to have to come up banana and deal with Yabi. Nikadaw's on the new box. Flash to the top side of the site. Rob pushes out, sees the shoulder of Zyphon and deals with that one. Can Roy bring it back? First kills his versus Kerrigan and a double into Rob's. But here's Twists in from banana. And the Deagle of Brokey starts to work out. Twists, labored spray, now the last man up. And Copenhagen Flames have gotten this round in the bag. There is simply no time left. 16-13.
What is that? They pull it off, getting into the B site, but I feel like that was FaZe allowing that to happen. As soon as Rain got a kill, he used the rest of his bullets. There were 4 Ts waiting for that moment, and as soon as they knew he was going to reload, they pushed through. It was obvious. There was no support there either. The op had left in that situation. That was the most standout mistake that we've seen from FaZe this whole game, but for the whole rest of it, you have to give full credit to Copenhagen Flames. They played amazing CS today. On FaZe's map pick, they earned it every step of the way, and they dealt with their own demons. That first half on CT side, they actually did put up good B defenses. They were able to rotate over to A and support almost every single time. There wasn't a situation where they got faked out and were overstacking the wrong site. They were right there with FaZe. All the pressure that FaZe applied, they had just as much and more.
Exactly what they needed to do to start off this series with a bit of spice. Ancient comes next, but the desk first and foremost.
A complete 180 from what we anticipated would go down on the grounds of Inferno. Historically, a bit of a strugglesome map for the Flames, but on both sides, both CT and T sides, some really, really solid looks for Copenhagen Flames coming into this. They have done their preparation coming into this series.
I love when a team just subverts expectations like that, honestly. I really didn't expect those Yabi Hooksy holds from B at Banana to be as good as they were, to find as much mileage as they did. When I look back at some of the games that they played prior to this, they would just die at the corner. Yabi would not get anything done at those sandbags positions. But then today, he fragged out. He just got every single kill. And I think that's sometimes what we hear when we talk about land buffs with players like this. Like, he's more focused. He's ready for it. These moments for Yabi were instrumental in giving Copenhagen Flames a little bit of life in this half. In fact, actually winning the half handily.
Absolutely. And in fact, I think the score doesn't even tell the story. You know, it's a 16-13 win for Flames, but they were down 4-2 in the first half and they were down 4-1 in the second. It's Flames that had to fight through gun rounds, fully armed, fully resourced. We talked about Yabi. I agree with you. With Hooksy, they did the job on Banana. And Roy, a man that we put on the spotlight, he cleaned up the A side. absolutely mopped up FaZe. Whenever they were trying to take it, he was multi-kill on multi-kill on multi-kill. Anyway, I thought that Kerrigan would figure out a solution. He did not. He couldn't find an entry on their T side.
I really like that you're giving credit to Roy coming into this one as well, because just the difference, the stark contrast from day one into day two for his performance. We were kind of framing him as a player that we need to be a difference maker coming into this one, Maniac. I mean, she was saying he looks south rather than up.
I mean, he punished any attempt on the side of FaZe to create space and eat that map control. Just a few numbers I can throw out there. Kerrigan in opening kill, 1 successful out of 8. On the side of Twist, it's 1 out of 6. And for Brokey, it's 1 out of 2. So none of these players actually were able to get that entry, to get the foot in the door when they were trying to get the sights. And Roy was very well positioned. I think the defense in general, the setups were very logical, very sound. And they just pushed FaZe out. And I think the second half is even a topic on its own. It's a story of its own.
Yeah, it was just incredibly interesting to see coming into this. You know, you were saying, Maui, from what you've seen, there's tape to prove this evidence that Copenhagen Flames have historically struggled, particularly with those banana holds. And then, I mean, we've got a particular example in round number 8. They completely subvert the expectations. They look really, really stellar in this one.
Yeah. I think we can just play that replay of that one. Like the holds that Hooksy and Yabby put up before had flaws in them. They were disconnected. They weren't playing together. Felt like the utility wasn't even supporting each other all too much. But this time around, look at that. They play around the smokes right there. Hooksy throws a nice flash to advance Yabby. Before, when I saw them play against EC Kiev, they were scared about playing around smokes like that. They would just let those kind of things stop them in the tracks. But they look back at what they did wrong. And that is another reason why Copenhagen Flames, it might look bad on paper to play so many online events over and over and over again. But you learn in those matches so much more because when you lose a match, Maniac, I know you can attest to this.
I lost a lot of matches, so
I have to. We both lost a match. Yours on a higher level, but either way, when you do lose those, it just sticks in your brain so much more. In a scrim, sometimes you're just like, man, whatever. But when you lose to EC Kiev in an official, you are going to actually try to improve because that should never happen for Copenhagen Flames. And I'm glad to see a new face for them today.
No, I agree with you, but honestly, there is nothing but the land buff that can explain the difference of dialogue. I mean, when you base your analysis on how they've been playing Inferno, and that is the CT side that they show us, we have nothing to say but to clap our hands. Like, it was unexpected and truly, truly impressive.
Yeah, it was really interesting. We were kind of watching in the green room saying, I was asking you, Maui, what differences have you seen versus those games historically? And you were like, actually, kind of nothing. They are just hitting their shots, particularly as we saw it in round number 10 there. And that is just impressive in itself to see them making those changes just in terms of that firepower and the confidence coming into things.
Yeah, they were a little bit more aggressive in this one. And I think that was spurred by the fact that they did hit those initial shots.
I know.
It's almost like once you enable yourself and recognize that, hey, I have the ability right now in the server to take down these star players on FaZe, then you are going to believe in yourself that even when you play a little bit more aggressively than you're used to, you're also going to be able to take that space cleanly and efficiently.
And I love that we talk about it because round 21 and 22 encompasses everything we just talked about. It's Flames being able to find a round in a matter of 6 seconds. Basically, all these shots being found all across the map. It's Siphon onto Robs. It's Roy destroying Brookie, who misses a shot with the AWP. It's Hooksy punishing Rain. Then off position. Look at this. Only headshots all across the board. The round is over in 8 seconds. And what is crazy, I think it had such a mental effect and mental impact on FaZe because the next round is a much slower, deeper round with real opportunities for FaZe to go back into it. Here, obviously, the Molotov from niko is a little bit unfortunate. You thought that the second player had everything he needed, but what is really uncharacteristic is the mistake from Robs after this moment. Roki finds the kill, and Robs, a man that never makes a mistake, never makes a single mistake, is naive onto the rotation from Flames. From that point on, it's 13-9. They have control.
Yeah, there's a couple things I have to note in that. One is that the first round we saw Copenhagen Flames actually out-dueling FaZe, 5 independent duels, winning them. That's not supposed to be a win condition for them when we look at the names on paper. Second thing is, with Rops making that mistake, I have to assume that Brokey fed information
communication-wise.
Yeah, I think there was somehow poor information being given to Rops in that moment because we don't see Rops make mistakes like that. If he has good information, he's going to be careful there. He's going to jiggle that out. He's not going to just wide swing into it, and that's exactly what we saw right there. Very un-Rops, very un-FaZe. Got to see them bounce back and look a lot better on Ancient. or else Copenhagen Flames, they can be the ones that spoil this.
And that was the incredibly interesting thing, kind of coming out of that first half, a 10-5 scoreline, more rounds than we predicted up here on the desk, Copenhagen Flames getting. And the fact was, coming into that second half, we thought FaZe, they would have a more bolstered defense. Of course, they did try and nip at the heels of Copenhagen Flames, but it was too little too late, and we've got to dive in to that the final round of the map for some more mistakes from FaZe.
Mistakes been made by FaZe.
Yeah.
Characteristic again. I mean, we can roll the clip from the last round. I think it tells the story. You have Rain obviously on his island on the car. For some reason, sprinting his whole magazine. Of course, the Flames will hear that and pounce on it. Then Kerrigan is playing with a secondary AWP on the B side, which is not the setup that inspires me too much faith. I gotta be real. And then Maui, it's a 4v4 with 2 AWPs to retake the side. Ain't not happening.
At this point, you could basically count FaZe out of the round. They didn't even have the utility to molly out too many of the deep positions, and this is just an attempt at a retake here, but Roy stands up on top of the emo boxes. Very well played from him to hit those shots, but FaZe didn't really have a chance after they lost that opener, and they didn't find the return. I mean, Rain does get that one through smoke to kick things off, but this was Twist just chasing Ghost at this point. He had no time left in the round. There was not a lot for him to do there, and really, it's very strange to see FaZe like this, but again, to bring it all back to what I was saying on just the pre-show of day one of the Legend stage, I mean, FaZe are favorites, but it's like 30%. Like, they aren't flawless like we've seen some major winners in the past.
Well, we're going to be seeing exactly how it does go down on Copenhagen Flames pick of Ancient coming up next to see if they can take down FaZe in 2. We're going to throw it to a quick break, but when we are back, we're going to be discussing all the action that's going to be going down on Ancient.
Now that's what we call major. 14 days of high-octane action. 14 days of fierce battles. 14 days of special bonuses from GG Bet. Whoop, cheer, and make your fortune. Esports is what we live and breathe. For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen. GG Bet. This is real.
Copenhagen Flames punished FaZe on their pick of Inferno, and now it's time to see if the savagery will be continuing on their chosen ground of Ancient. And there's a few questions coming into this one. I want to start off by discussing FaZe and what we should expect to see considering they're starting on that CT side.
I want to put all the focus and all the emphasis on the first half of this Ancient game for multiple reasons. First of all, yes, the numbers of FaZe on Ancient are great. 100% win rate in the last 3 months. Undefeated, but they had respectively 12, 12, and 11 rounds on their CT side. We know Copenhagen Flames have the depth on their T side. We know they can play the map to a very high level. If you are FaZe, you need to secure yourself a very strong CT half, because I don't know how much faith I have in them in their T side.
It's worrying to think about that because we just haven't seen too much of FaZe's T side. Usually by the time they switch to the offense, the game's pretty much over. So there's one guy that I am looking out for to try to be a rock for this team. He was warming up by the end of the first map there, and that's Twist, actually. The mid-A kind of rotator role that he plays on this team, he needs to be pinpoint with recognizing where the attack is coming from Copenhagen Flames and getting there as soon as humanly possible. And what I'm excited about for him is that in the last 6 rounds of the previous game, he got 13 kills. He was destroying Flames by the end of that game. It's just that it took him a while to get into that first map. But I think that FaZe has heated up at this point, and I am committed to the idea that I think that they're going to put up a formidable defense.
And just going back to the game that we saw yesterday from Copenhagen Flames, obviously taking on Spirit, this was the third and final deciding map. But the fact that Flames, couldn't really get too much into it, only 4 rounds on that T side, didn't really leave them much room to work with heading onto that CT side. What do you specifically think was lacking there? Was it just Spirit really punishing Flames, or was there something more to be desired from the Danes on that one?
I think Maui put it very aptly during the pre-show when he said Patsy negated Roy, and we know how much space Roy takes. So basically what Flames will try to do is take that cave control, and then they'll pull back, play on a different side of the map, but Roy, the man that we have on our screen, is still there. He is still there, and he's applying pressure. Whenever it's time, he's using his utility, and he's looking for duels. He's got all the freedom and all the trust from Hooksie's IGL to go out there and make a difference. But Spirit just put him out of his misery instantly. So you lack that kind of 1-2 punch combination, and it becomes very simple to know where the round is headed. So if he can have that same performance he had on Inferno, same kind of impact, Kerrigan is in for a treat.
I'm worried about Flames because they're ahead in this series now. I talked
It's the best of 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I talked to Devil Walk a little bit last game, and he kind of mentioned the fact that Flames thrive when they're underdogs, when they have nothing to lose, when they're a team that is looking at a giant and saying, we could take these guys down. That's when they're at their absolute best. But now with this map advantage, we saw even against Spirit, it felt like they were supposed to be the favorites in that one. They started getting a little sloppy in moments. They missed some smokes on some of their execs. That's so uncharacteristic of Flames and what they normally provide. But I think in this situation, they should be able to hold their nerve and at least accomplish their game plan. Because when you look back at that Spirit game, there were some simple errors that they made, and I don't see that usually when I watch them play, and I think that they're going to have a nice bounce back here too.
I mean, you talk about pressure, we can flip the switch and talk about FaZe.
Yeah.
Right, FaZe, that was a team, by all account, by all narratives, by all data, coming into the major as the most probable winner that we had. I agree with you, not invincible by any margins, right? But they are still the favorite.
Yeah.
And now, they're in this situation, 1 map down in this 2-1 game, and we have teams like G2, potentially Vitality, Cloud9, Outsiders. All these teams somehow can end up in a 2-2 matchup. If you are Kerrigan, all the stars are aligning for you to lift the trophy right now. The major that has eluded to you for so long. You have your roster, you have momentum, you have the map pool, you have everything you need to win it. There's no way, there is absolutely no way you can miss on the playoffs. It just doesn't work for the story in FaZe.
Yeah, and it just gets even more difficult, as you were alluding to, if we're going down into the depths of these 2-2 matchups that are going to be going down tomorrow. Incredibly tough for either of these teams if they do lose out and fail to qualify from this series. I do just want to focus a little bit more attention on the CT side of FaZe, because obviously Maynard was talking about what he feels like they need to be delivering coming into this, where they feel like they need to be going lights out to be getting an edge up in this match. Are you agreeing with the same sentiments as Machi Maui?
It's simply the fact that we haven't seen enough of FaZe's T side to know how good it truly is yet in the history of this lineup. So right now, that's kind of almost all we can base that off of. I mean, the thing is that there are still so many players for FaZe that did start to warm up in that game, and one that I actually think needs to do more. I think Rops had an uncharacteristically bad map 1 in this series, and he's a guy that I've had criticisms for his style before, but he's undeniable in his greatness. greatness. He is such a solid anchor on every bomb site you put him on. And again, we saw Siren, a rookie coming in, holding down that A site against Copenhagen Flames and actually decimating them as they come into it. If Robs can't replicate the same thing, I don't want to have to question his stardom, but how could a rookie outperform him in this kind of situation?
Now, because in the structure that we have in our minds when we think about FaZe and why they're so strong on the defense, one of the incredible evidence or obvious state we take is that Robs is going to be strong. Robs is going to be solid. That's how good he is. Exactly. Yeah. That's how good he is. We just assume that he's going to deliver. When he doesn't, like it was the case on Inferno, leaves a huge disbalance. So he's going to have to react right now.
Well, we're going to see if Robs can be bouncing back into this. This is the map of Copenhagen Flames coming into the grounds of Ancient. And to guide us through it, it's Scrawny and Lawless.
Thank you, guys. Hard-hitting analysis. And honestly, if we're looking at the ROPS bounce back, I think we also have to look for the Copenhagen Flames bounce back. On Ancient, their biggest loss ever was just last night versus Spirit. 6 rounds on a map that we know for certain that they love to play. So can they do this? Can they get that map over top of FaZe, or is there this mental barrier where, yeah, you've got your opponents against the wall, you're supposed to just dominate, you're supposed to just close, and suddenly FaZe can manage to slip right through. They've got the advantage of that CT side versus Copenhagen Flames' offense, but this is Ancient, where the Flames chose to play.
We'll see how much that data from the Spirit match will factor into this one. Spirit played so insanely well. I mean, even though it was such a one-sided game, I just gotta give them credit. Like they were nuts. Now, okay, B side hit coming through. Rain pressure on him, but he is standing up to it. That's 2 frags. Will ease up the retake. Bomb is late into the site. Zyphon doesn't even feel comfortable putting it down. They don't have anyone inside of Cave, and they think maybe someone could be here. And FaZer's going to keep the pressure on thick. Will they stop the bomb plant? No.
Little CT body block. Zyphon even going to answer back with a kill. Pushes HooXi into the clutch. And that's where Brokey's going to end him. So sure enough, FaZe Clan pick up the 3rd pistol of this series.
Yeah, which is actually a crazy thing to think about, that Copenhagen played so much better than them overall that they even survived 2 pistols in a close match like that. Props and Twist towards the end of Inferno started to get warm. And I think the main reason I would say that FaZe played well still is I thought the calls were good. I thought there wasn't anything wrong about the way they were setting up. There was one distinct error that they had with the B site setup between Rain and Kerrigan in that last round. But outside of that, they were really competitive. But where they played badly was Twist and Rops just not being able to win duels where they normally would. And I think, yeah, like it was pointed on the desk, like how can they lose duels to rookies like this in a high-pressure match where they should have the edge?
Roy thinking he can push in and punish that reload, but Kerrigan's got the coverage.
New era T-side Ancient is very lurky. Take as many risks as you can. All over the roulette table. Small bets. Individuals walk up and peek. Just get the CTs to tilt. That's quite a punish.
Ikeda's just spamming smoke with the deagle. That's a curious way to avenge Roy.
Pretty good timing right there.
Just a little stroke of luck.
FaZe do not know what's going on the A side. As we can see from the donut player, he's also keeping an eye on the site cross. This is team mid and mids. Actually kind of a nice setup. And with the time remaining, they might be able to score a rotation because they're quite vulnerable over here on the side of the map. So HooXi, I mean, if he gets a frag, it could just stir the pot so heavily there. Be no choice but for them to react to it. He's about to cross the rifler now inside of Donut. Rops will take him down. CT starts to peel over, but Rain will also stay vigilant, making sure it's not some kind of fake, and he'll see now smokes cascading over top of the site. Space
for the plant. Flash. Whoop. Rain just dodges it, comes back. Ikedaw is not going to find that bomb plant. So everything gets swept away here. Zyphon's AK almost able to find one through that smoke,
but
he's
let time go.
Being attacked on both sides.
Oh,
and luckily for him, he just dies right after. So Rain locking this one in. 3 survivors for FaZe as they take a second for the start.
Yeah, I mean, good to have that kill just in the pocket, but they were at the point where they definitely could have killed him after time. That would have been a huge win. Were you about to say something?
I'm always about to say something.
Yeah.
But then I think a little bit more and I decide not to.
Okay. There's a heavy quota here for FaZe on CT side of Ancient. They still got a lot of work to do before they feel comfortable at all. And the thing is, as big as that loss was for Spirit, I mean, they didn't know about their vulnerabilities until the game was over. Yeah, you excited about those?
Yeah, I like any FaMAS frag, okay? I'm all aboard the FaMAS propaganda. It's an anti-eco, they have no helmets, but if the FaMAS is fragging, then I'm in support. Okay. FaZe 3-0. Clean conversions from their pistols every time so far.
When you get stomped that badly, like, it's going to cause you to you probably spend all night talking about the map, like what went wrong. You've got a really fresh demo with a lot of good information, and that's probably a huge reason why they picked it in this series. Not sure if they themselves expected to be able to take Inferno and know they were playing so damn well today, but let's see what they've changed.
Ooh, twist in the corner. MP9 quickly down to the bottom of ramp, and Rain will trade that one. Then Yabby and Roy look to come at this bomb site. Pressure's here, the attack is on, and Yabby has the headshots. First guns in from Copenhagen Flames, first round win on the board by the looks of it, and that has been a consistency on their T-sides.
Yabby double entries.
And the T's winning rounds off the back of that.
Yikes. That's a lot of prows. An easy round to win right there. I mean, even if Yabby dies, I feel like they still are in a good spot. They instantly trade with the player right behind him. It's a scary rifler to have up front, but they can't get uncomfortable in positions like that where flames are ready to explode.
Cave control was theirs the entire time. You know, mid also wasn't really under question from FaZe. So, yes, this one does slide by easily.
They've died 2 rounds here fighting for the bottom of Banana. With the Deagle spam through the smoke, this one just a honest aim duel from players getting ready to push out. We'll see how adamant FaZe want to be about taking all that control. Looks like it's something that Flames are looking for. Like, yeah, they'll happily take those engagements, so pretty risky if a lot of the game plan comes down to that for FaZe. Might want to consider throwing their nades, but not committing that hard. Rops is going to be picking up the op alongside Brokey. This is a heavy investment. Yes, FaZe are 3-1, and this can be a great way to snowball, and 2 ops are specifically good versus teams that lurk a lot, as opposed to execute, which again is what Ancient comes down to sometimes. But the thing to mention is that this is very expensive. If this goes wrong, they might not be able to come back from it.
And if Copenhagen Flames don't go for another lurk, just want to hit this B site pretty easily again, then those ops aren't going to be a part of this. We've got one in Donut, we've got one inside the A site, but Rain will survive. And Rain's shown us a lot of promise as time went on with Ancient within this cave play.
Yes, he has deepened his bag of tricks when it comes to his spams and his timings, his one-ways. I feel like a lot of people have actually learned from the way Rain plays it.
It feels like cave and then into the B lane is like this very specific, you know, it's a very tricky place to be.
Extremely tricky. So many elevation changes, little spams that you can do, lots of timings, hard to fight back for space. As we can see, Rain working on it. And again, they got this push down. I mean,
3rd time.
Yeah, they want to go for it over and over again. And maybe Copenhagen Flames will think, no way they try this, but there's nothing here to help Kerrigan out. But the timing is beautiful. And he kills him with the molly bottle. He doesn't even kill him with the flames.
Straight to the head. Shards in Kerrigan's forehead as FaZe will win the round off the back of that one.
He literally got bottled.
Call that the bottle service.
That doesn't happen very often. I wonder how many times it's happened at a major.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, so 1 HP after that, spray down, and the bottle, boom.
right in the chest.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Nice to see Kerrigan go for that play 3 rounds in a row. Doesn't shy away from it. Doesn't shy away from it. Sticks the landing.
Yeah, it is true.
Lines up 2 as well, right? Define him playing with his nades, but hold on. niko's. We got a quick entry over on that A side as Rops decides to get a little bit more active.
He missed his shot last round. He died straight up on this one. That's a huge amount of leverage this early on. It's attracted the attention of all the CTs. So the Brokey op will come in behind it. But it's very hard to push this after you've lost control. And Copenhagen Flames know that.
We've seen more than one Brokey highlight from inside that temple.
Very timid about mid-control as well here from the CT side. They're not looking to go back in. This is where the insecurity from FaZe will start to show itself. Like, Flames know they're going to try to take something back. But where is it? They start to walk into mid late, but HooXi is here to meet them. Greeting Karrigan, but Karrigan's got the better angle. Headshot comes in, 45 seconds, and decisions are about to be made.
Looking like another all-in on the ramp. We got Twist and Rain in the crossfire. Karrigan coming over to support. Now a three-pronged hold, perhaps. Flash above, blinds almost everyone. Twist's still looking for his attempt, but Roy's going to get him into the wall. Karrigan goes down with one, and Rain activates for the double to close.
Nice.
Keeps 2 up, and keeps FaZe 4 ahead.
Damn, they still made that feel like the map was very small. They did a good job. Rotations were fast. Those are some of those fast rotations we saw from Copenhagen Flames, with Karrigan now doing that inside of middle. Perfect time and catch. HooXi comes over to be the support. That's that previous round
the
again.
bottle, one more time.
Yeah, why not? Oh, man. It's just not often you see that. Look at that. Icon on the kill feed.
A treat.
That was pretty good at 5v4, but still questions about Rops here.
Nice to see Karrigan, in that round as well. I think within that mix, within that flash, within that carnage, just kind of throwing himself at it. Similar to what he was doing down the ramp, just throwing himself at it based on those timings. And 2 of them now, he's hit them to a T, back to back. Offers us some kills, sets up Rain perfectly, and will once more try to go fighting downwards. 2 frags made easy, and a 3rd headshot to boot.
Well.
Killer Karrigan on the ramp yet again.
Squeaky clean. Yeah, it's annoying. You put all this emphasis into conditioning. Like, opponents are going to respect us here. We've got lucky kills. We've dominated. We've found timings. But, yeah, I think, again, what makes FaZe is the fact that they always play like they're winning. And I think that's a perfect example of it. Karrigan's kind of tenacity, adamance about getting down and getting control here to free the map up. Flames looking for any kind of answer. And it was the CT side, actually, that still struggled for Flames versus Spirit yesterday. What I thought was cool about the game plan was Spirit on a lot of their A attacks, being able to walk up consistently, and Copenhagen Flames setup consisted of basically trying to play within the site, but as soon as the donut smoke came in, falling back out of it. And Flames and Spirit just threw this one flash that really caught my attention. That was all they needed to get the setup to fall apart completely, and then they started getting into retake spots. And as much as Flames were able to learn from their game yesterday, FaZe also have that demo available for them to watch. I might have watched it live, watched it again. Been very comfortable coming into Ancient, so it's quite a big risk to allow it into the pool, even if they felt good about it.
Twists just skates through the fire. And mid-control again, man. Damn, Copenhagen Flames really playing outside this B site consistently. No mid-contests as of yet. We had that one round where they get up inside of the A site and then
Man, the persistence.
fall away.
They pushed A again, even though Rops has died, Rops has missed a shot, and they fall back. Now they reinforce. It's a double-edged sword, though, to push for A control. It's really nice to know that this part of the map is empty, but your rotations are just not fast to get over to B, and the rotations to go back into spawn are just fine. So sometimes it wins you the entire round to be able to kind of walk it all the way around.
Karrigan again.
Oh my god, he's still here.
He is just this omnipresence on the ramp. And it feels like that's why they can't really leave it empty, because he's always looking to just gather either info or those kills.
Yeah, he's countering their presence, and this is allowing the A guys to actually know that they can start to go for a push. Karrigan will finally die with a little bit of damage, but Brokey answers inside mid.
Yep.
That's Roy, not HooXi.
Rops is going to activate on the flank here, so sure enough, it's just going to be a rinse and repeat. More pressure on B. Twists deep with a teammate right beside him, so Rain's trying to set this up as Rops is an eventuality on the flank.
He just needs to go incredibly slow. His teammates have not gotten kills yet. There's always could be someone watching the flank.
Zyphon's dead. Now they know about it. niko stops, turns around. Meanwhile, Jabby double headshot
again
on Rain and Twist. I mean, he has been the key piece to these round wins for them. And once more, we have Copenhagen Flames inside the B site. They get through. Now, they barely get beyond. Rob's almost killing both of those players on the back end of things, but it's the fact that Twists and Rain both died to insta headshots from Yabby.
Ain't
Nothing
no
on
way
the site
they
hold.
won this round. Ain't no way. Look at the map. I mean, they had the instant trade back. They even got the dink from Kerrigan. 2 players here are low. Rob's flank was the final sign. I mean, he played it so slowly, got his kill. They just needed any trade, and Yabby once again kills both anchors like he was doing over on Inferno. What an absolute treasure they have in Yabby for the T-side entries. This is one of the hardest maps to find entry frags on.
Did that go down?
Oh my god!
No.
They played perfect spots. I thought they were doubled up or something.
That is so slick.
There's nothing you could do about that.
I was right there with you. I thought that Rain was still with Twist because the last time that we had perspective on them, they were on the same corner. They were side by side.
Well, it doesn't get much more impressive than that.
What a flick. But Rain,
wow.
Those are his tricks.
That's Roy out again. The more time you spend here in Cave, the better your timings get as well. And he lives here.
A cave dweller. Look! What? Look! It's so good!
To the back of mid.
It is so good. He knows them all. If
Dead
you
shot.
want to learn how to play Cave, you watch Rain. And then Kerrigan, as he always has, comes down this ramp and just continues to apply pressure, but that will welcome nikoDAWS back through the smoke. HooXi, in the meantime, gets a chance towards top mid, and nikoDAWS will die. No follow-up, as Brokey's up, pummels back two. HooXi will catch Robs towards CT spawn, but Robs can still land this, as he just disappears all of a sudden and comes back to close down a 7th CT round.
Let's talk about Rain for a second. Coming out of the last year when things went online, his performances started to take a huge dip. I mean, as soon as Cologne came back, that was the first site that we saw where a lot of the players who were great on land continued to be good. Rain reinvented himself as a player who's no longer the star player of FaZe, and he hasn't been the star player of this team for so long. But once upon a time, he was. But now to keep up, he's decided to take the knowledge approach to figure out the spams, the one-ways, to basically have an ability to keep up in a game where he's getting outshone in his own team. And his LAN performances have consistently got better. He's still not the star of the team, and he's still not the player who has to take over games whatsoever, but he does play some key spots like here on Cave, and I think he's one of the very best players to do it right now.
12-4 at the current moment. If you can't out-aim the next gen, just out-brain the next gen. Really cool to see that depth from him. 5-round lead for FaZe. Tough spot for the Flames. Back into the armored Tech 9s, Mac 10s. Grenades all over the place. Dude, Copenhagen Flames just can't even get their setups set up. Because every time they're trying to pull out nades, Kerrigan's either rolling down the ramp or Rain's just spamming away through smokes and walls. Again, Roy will be taken out of this one, but it is a very quick response. Tech 9 pushing into this B site and an upgrade for Yabby. That's a dangerous game to play, but Rain is the danger himself. As he locks down that cave, takes all of the life out of this one, and will leave the Flames to just desperately try to run back into this bomb site. A plant at this point is a win. And HooXi wraps back around to be caught by the second op. FaZe, they'll give them some money, but they won't give them the round.
Yeah, Rain is the stone giant right now. Inside of the cave, they can't trade him. I mean, he's killing them without looking them in the eyes. Even when they face him, he's winning their duels. He is kind of the immovable object at this point on the map, and this allows for Kerrigan to basically take the risk that he wants to. They can lean on at least one player staying alive. And there's no way for Yabby to hit a spray transfer from the bottom of Banana all the way into Cave. So he can't kill them both at the same time. And without that, there's enough time for the rotations to come in to do the rest of the work. It's got to be so frustrating, though. They just cannot scare Kerrigan no matter how many times he dies. And look at the A control immediately getting taken. Immediately. They're not worried about this either. Double up setup part of the game plan. It seems like a smart one.
Rain and Kerrigan going to change positions this round.
They're leaving Donut open, though, which kind of freezes them up. As we can see from Twist right now, he's spotting it, but he doesn't have the ability to just leave, and they have to hold for timings on mid. So the setup isn't perfect here from FaZe, I would say. But the B-site hit is coming in, so maybe it won't matter.
Just rinse and repeat. Try their hand again. Rain. Oh, 2. And Brokey comes in from the opposite end to just suck all the life out of Copenhagen Flames. They had footing on that bomb site, and it just gets kicked out from beneath them. Oh, FaZe. This is world class.
Yes, and Flames are starting to look a bit one-dimensional. They're banging their head into a wall here. I think they're really frustrated about the fact that they know they've been in once or twice. But when we look at it from our perspective, they've gotten some ridiculous entry frags that shouldn't be expected to happen every time. So I think they need to give themselves FaZe a little bit more credit, actually, and work the map better. Because right now, look at Rops. He's in spawn again. They've been able to walk down into A every single time, and it's not hard to get the A players back, but if they don't show up at all, of course, FaZe are going to take that space. So right now, FaZe are the better team. They're playing better positionally. Rain is literally 18-4, and they're giving them so much action on the B site that basically everyone over there is top fragging.
Yeah, Rain's just going to keep farming you if you offer him the chance.
Yeah.
Completely different spot. Goes unchecked for the first start of it, and then Brokey swings in from that other end. Rain just clean as can be. The AK upgrade going to power him up.
It's fickle to have an op on A. One flash and he'll fall back, but they're not even throwing that.
Oh, and Twist while blind connects to the head of Yabby, who we saw sort of sit outside bottom of mid. Last time he didn't test it, but Rain has the bangs. The walls mean nothing to him. And with that, it opens up the possibility of what could be a killer top mid flank. Twist is going to confirm that they are challenging, and with a smoke, that'll slow him down. Rain decides not to make his move, but Kerrigan certainly will. He goes to the bottom of ramp, full information, as we've seen from FaZe on A, but this time, it's their B site.
Yeah, he takes a quick peek at the minimap and realizes he could cheat over to the A side. In regards to the smoke, he still has 2 players pushed up on B. Lots of information, plus Donut here. And he won't get caught off on the timing. If Kerrigan didn't make that rotation, then they wouldn't be able to watch long and Donut at the same time.
Turn of events.
Looks like Rain can die.
Finally, but Brokey and Twist will answer right back, so Zyphon, despite getting a kill, could all be for naught. Headshot is clean, but Rops is right there top mid with that ever-present second op, and 3 survive for FaZe as they continue to climb this scoreboard.
Yeah. Copenhagen Flames have to work harder than this. I mean, they're clocking in. They have an idea. They've seen a small amount of success on these full B attacks, whether they've been contact explode or full execs. But outside of that, they are losing in the defaults. They're most of the time just getting farmed by Rain. He's got his straw hat on and his rake, and I don't think Copenhagen Flames don't look like they've picked the map right now. I'll say that much. Okay, this A pressure gets taken again. And it's around where timings can matter a lot. Zyphon, I mean, Rops doesn't know that he's passed. He might walk back into the scope.
Zyphon can't extend around, though, not with Twists being here to help. So as long as Rops doesn't move, as long as he trusts the process, he's good. In fact, it's Zyphon who gets caught walking in with the entirety of Copenhagen Flames, essentially, right here behind him. Hooksy's going to be able to jump away. Twists looking to offer a little bit of help, but things get awkward for an instant as Roy and Yabby both pick up kills. And in the meantime, we also get this kill towards the B site. Brokey here to hold the line. Misses his flick onto Hooksy, who grabs that op and grabs this chance to just leave. This is a weird one.
That's the bomb spotted, and the bomb can't go A. So I don't know. I mean, there's a chance to cut him off, and Hooksy will be the one to do the cutting. That's Rain out.
2 separate fights on both sides of the map. Copenhagen Flames squeezing this situation out of a round they have no business winning. Deagle kills inside that A site, dodging Brokey on his rotation, and now forcing him into the clutch.
Looks like he's going to go for it. Bomb is waiting a long time here, so they probably want to give this over to Roy so Hooksy can
15 seconds,
cover
Brokey's
him.
here.
Yeah.
The Latvian will pull this off if you give him the space to do it, but Roy going to keep that gun in hand, and they find Brokey just kind of scouring the battlefield. Copenhagen Flames, they'll take a 3rd round, but can they replicate that?
Yeah, I mean, it might not matter. Like, they might be fortunate to have one around like this. They get to see this setup between Twist and Rops, they actually have no idea how many times that Rops has been there. So they might think they got lucky in spotting him once, but it's been almost every round. But I mean, all that matters is just how many rounds they get. Even if they're kind of getting outclassed, 10-5 would be pretty huge.
Rob's posted on a different angle.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a huge risk to run, but
Oh, he's got to hit the flick. Oh my God, he hit him.
That could have
Niko's down to half.
That could have been something special had he got the top half of the head.
Kerrigan's pushing B again. What is it? A Wednesday?
Doesn't matter what day of the week, man. Kerrigan's pushing ramp. He's here with Rain, of course.
Everyone's scared of him.
Rain smoke soon to fade.
It will still be hard to scale A. Donut control is here. Rops needs to go down first. And whoa! That's a perfect. What the hell? Wow, he transitioned to that perfectly.
How did... Man, it looked like he barely hit the ground. Now, they're going to lose Roy on the opposite end of the map, but that is still an A site under pressure, under question.
They missed the smoke. They don't have CT smoked.
They blind Brokey.
But Brokey knows that they can throw all the utility they want if he has a chance to stop them from even getting the plant off.
Nice spam from Twist. That takes down half of Zyphon and then Hooksy. 26 health between him and Yabi. Then niko, because of that first op shot from Rops, is also on 1/3 his health. So this is FaZe just looking for the cleanup. Just mop away what's left. But Yabi, with 4 points of HP, comes in for the kill versus Rain. Kerrigan quietly sneaks right behind, and Twist hits that headshot into Hooksy. It needs to be niko. Smoke goes down on top of Bomb, and as he pushes outwards, niko is left guessing as to where they've got off to, but that's a critical kill. Kerrigan's down, Twist on Bomb, he's got it. Cold-blooded Canadian for the clutch inside the A site.
Oh, they locked that down. Oof, that one came so close. Copenhagen wanted that bad. They got the A attack going on. They were so close to it, getting in the site, but they missed that smoke and CT spawn. Brokey got a kill. 2 ops in the post plant. I was wondering if that was going to be a boon or a curse, and then Yabi opens up with 1. Then they push through and kill him, and niko obviously could have hit this, but look at how much has been blocked off by the smoke. If it was too tight in this situation, it wouldn't have done them any favors. So it was facing niko, it was a bit far off, it removed points of reference, but here we are, lightning fast into the next round. Twist finally dies in mid. Hooksy goes out, Kerrigan wants to trade this, but now he's got another threat on the inside of mid, trying to peek out of elbow, but he's scared of it.
And knowing Kerrigan's top mid means he's not on this B site, so Flames are going to go ahead and chase, but they've left Bomb all the way back in their spawn, essentially, and Kerrigan comes out from cave, goes for that 2-man spray, niko op on cycle, loses to Brokey's peak, and now it has to be Yabi. He doesn't have the bomb, but he has so much time. Rain posted and dealt with instantly. Half of the health gone from Yabi, as they're going to try and squeeze a 4th round win from this half.
We're not a couple of days out from Yabi posting a 2.0 rating on T-Side Ancients with a 1v3 clutch to bring a map back, and we've already seen some of that impact right now. You can't write him off in this spot. The bomb is so far away from him, but it hasn't been spotted by the CT side. Yabi's hoping to catch a lackadaisical rotation, but the CTs, they haven't boxed in right now. I mean, he'll have to walk by their scopes, and Brokey will give him a moment of timing. And yeah, maybe there is a chance he can collect this.
Rob's about to come look down from mid. Yabi, oh my, a second.
He gets by, but he's got to commit back to this site. Rops, is he watching towards cave or?
They go A.
No, they think it's going to be the A site. Brokey's starting to walk back now.
Yabi, the puppeteer, is pulling the strings, but then Brokey will still find that angle.
Okay.
He got away with 1 too many timings.
Yeah, that was a lot.
3rd time's the charm there for FaZe. They will lock down a 12th round on this CT side.
Yes.
They survived the test of Copenhagen Flames on Ancient.
Indeed, they have. That was a very flat half from Copenhagen Flames. They were kind of lucky to get the rounds they did. That was not like Inferno, where ironically they looked more prepared, even though this is their map pick. And we've seen, big and close games, especially at majors from Copenhagen Flames. And it's hard to figure out exactly, where the consistency lies. They can look forward to CT side, of course, but FaZe are, again, one of the best teams on T side. Map agnostic, so not expecting this to go in favor of Copenhagen Flames, but we've seen greater comebacks as soon as the CT side hits for Ancient. CT side hits different.
Gabby just swings it out from Cave. Flash goes over. Nice. Excellent utility in from FaZe. Perfectly timed flashbang to get 2 of them dead already, but there is still an answer. Despite niko being on 3 health, he outduels Kerrigan. And with it, man advantage, HooXi and Zyphon. 2 more USP headshots, and that's going to leave Rain at 20-8 in a 1 versus 3 clutch. Copenhagen Flames can... Oh!
Wait a second.
Either they win their first pistol...
niko has to swing. He's
or
so
Rain
low.
clutches. And with niko being this low, that Glock's just going to hone in on him from a 1v3 into the 1v1, and Zyphon is so far away.
How's this bomb plant looking? He can play within the cave. It's pistols, right? So you're not going to expect the spams to come through. He's trying to read the rotation, but he's just splitting the difference at this point. Tucking, hoping that the CT walks into his crosshair. Now he's going to probably hear Zyphon running up.
Zyphon not looking the right direction. Rain. Oh no! He misses his first chances.
Oh, he still wins.
Still closes it out, man. That's
Wow.
crazy. 1v3 from Rain.
Damn.
Rain is just drenched in drip.
I love that he's taking some spotlight right now because we saw an insane first half from him. That was a huge reason why Copenhagen couldn't get away with their game plan. They ran into him so many times. I mean, half the time you didn't even see them. That's how good he was playing with his spams and his smokes and his utility. But now to put the cherry on top of the 1v3 in the second half, I mean, it just speaks to what we've seen so far. Here, it gets a little sketchy, but it's fine. He gets the job done.
Come on, guys. We could have cut that out of the highlight.
Yeah.
Could have let it slide. Wow, 23-8.
The opening
1v3
tactic.
pistol clutch.
You know, they needed Rain there, but the opening tactic was super solid.
Yeah, very true. True indeed. Rain gonna just tuck in behind box. Roy.
Oh, he had the collapse.
Double kill with the deagle.
Yeah.
This one's still
you know
got a
what?
little life, man. Mag
It's
7 up
3v3.
close, but HooXi, he has set up. Oh, Zyphon can't end it.
The wall steals a couple of bullets.
The pellets rebound. Robson twists on 20 each. Brokey 91 now. Oh, and he just missed the player to his right side. So sure enough, Rops will end him, and FaZe will have a 14-3 lead here on map 2.
Ancient is the map up next to close out the series.
Nuke.
Oh, sorry, Nuke. And that will be super special, I think, both for FaZe and for Copenhagen Flames. That should be an absolute banger. It feels like that's coming. Not grabbing the second pistol could be damning. Losing in a 1v3 fashion on top of having a 12-3 start. That just might be mentally too much to overcome.
They're just
and
gonna
the force up is here. Yeah, normally you'd wait around, but in this
Forcing all the way.
situation, they don't believe in the win. So see if they can grab it.
Good fight for this one. Oh, Kerrigan keeps it clean. Rain from behind box, dies to Zyphon. So many flashbangs back and forth. A nice double kill from Zyphon. He needs to just run and tuck, and he will. He gets away.
They let him go.
2 more players here inside Cave.
So
HooXi
versatile.
right through that smoke. Hits twists, dink to 28. Kerrigan's going to try to chase, and niko with the deagle could put Copenhagen Flames back on the scoreboard.
Uh-oh.
They are on the map, but they are still so far away.
They are, yeah. Dead in the doorway. Wow. Yeah, again, it's a psychological one where you know, the buy, right? Because CT side, if you had like a nice little lead or even just a few rounds separating you as opposed to like the 12 or whatever we have now, you would just save. But instead, they just put it together, the pistols, MP9s, and that's enough to do it. So
Mandatory round win.
at least we'll get to see, you know, the full brunt of the CT side, all the utility involved. FaZe looking to take it fast towards A.
Yeah, double AK.
Oh, super fast. They throw their early donut smoke instead of walking.
Galil as well. We'll see Zyphon go big. Lines up 2 players. Does a bunch of damage. niko locks 1 on cross. Smoke comes in. And he misses the chance through it. But still, remember, all that damage. It
Bomb hasn't been
should
planted
be
yet.
Enough. Tech9 comes in from mid now. Make that 3 players tagged incredibly low.
Jesus.
If they can win this post plant, imagine Brokey from above with that AK falls back. The only player with an actual bar of HP.
Yeah.
Rops is going to try to run this around the CT spawn, but they're already on top of bomb, and Copenhagen Flames could just stick this. Brokey's now down, and sure enough, they will. 5th to the scoreboard. Rops will get by. FaZe, though, still making them a little panicked.
Yeah, that early spray, even though he didn't get a kill, did so much damage it helped out. niko paired that with an op shot in from the spawn, and the retake was quite possible, at least from that perspective. So let's see, this is how it kicked off. And again, one thing that Spirit did super well was when they went for their full A's, they walked most of the time. They put tons of pressure on Copenhagen Flames just by existing slowly, taking over map control, and made sure all their smokes were down before they got in.
Niko from Cave here from forZe. Roy finds Brokey with the wallbang, so this one goes swimmingly for Copenhagen Flames. Looking for 11 more rounds if they want to close in regulation. It seems unbelievable, but it is ancient. It is ancient.
One thing that would make the map a lot scarier for the T's is if you could set up, you know, your deep CT smoke while running and have Temple smoked off, donut, all those things as your exec was coming through. But the way that the map is designed right now, if you want to go for the explosion, there's almost always a timing where your Opera and CT spawn can get one shot off before that smoke comes through. And your donut players are very strong as well. So the map leans in a way that it favors you playing slowly. That's what we've seen a lot from some of the best T sides, like Astralis' T side on this map. Spirit yesterday. And FaZe, while they aren't an impatient team, they are one that lean more slightly aggressive.
Well, with some of the pieces they work with, I don't blame them. See if there are layers to it here. Nice flashbang towards mid. Kerrigan picks up HooXi with that, and niko is going to fall away because they realize A site under pressure.
That's mid searched out, and they're refreshing mid, but Kerrigan's gone so fast. He's literally through their donut smoke at this point.
Galil. Ooh, only one there from Zyphon.
There's an
Lesser
op in the back.
weapons. niko inside of the temple. He'll find Kerrigan deep in donut. That'll open up now Roy to come over and try and help. They've still got another support in the CT spawn. Roy, two backs turned. Can't manage that second kill, but niko, he holds the line. Locks this in from Temple with a headshot on top of it. Copenhagen Flames a 7th.
I think I think A makes sense, but they're playing it very risky with the way they're going in. They had huge levers there. An open donut completely for a second with Kerrigan staying alive. They had everything right, but if they had mollied Temple with their CT smoke, then this wouldn't have been possible right here. Warden in the watchtower from niko is playing it so well, like Brokey would have basically. And they didn't do a good job of countering that. So you can't rely on getting 3 entries in a row on T side, then planting the bomb. We've already won the round at that point, right?
In that last round as well, the one prior, it was also niko with the op inside of Temple, getting multi-kills on the retake.
It's really important to be patient as you're entering.
He's taken to the top of the board here for the CTs.
Missed 2 mollies.
Not pretty. Neither is the buy from FaZe. Copenhagen Flames playing catch-up. Yavi's position known. Tech9 taps at him. He's just going to go ahead, tuck in. That opens Roy to help in from Cave. Ooh, clean 2K from his A1S. And all that's left is Rain and Brokey. Eagles in hand, bomb in the ground, and through the smoke they'll fall, as niko will still get his name on all of these CT rounds so far.
Oh, he's been good. Both sides of Inferno, he was there. I think he closed out even those last couple of rounds as well. Him and Jabby make the difference, I think, on T side the most from what we've watched.
5 rounds straight for the Flames.
Rops is still somehow 9 and 8. He was just playing A all the first half, barely getting any action.
Your time will come, my son.
Ooh, Zyphon with the solo push with the rifle. Will he get cleared out? Oh,
Nice.
he will. Oh,
That's Rops' chance.
No support on that. Zyphon's dead.
Nope. They're just leaning on a rotate again. But rotates too soon, rotate too quickly.
So
and
here's a spot, okay? We've got potential for them to set up for all of their nades, but they play this too fast, and they will lose to ops. The resmoke comes in for long A, and I think they want to respect it. I'm not exactly sure if they will. I think they can call the bluff, but they also have lots of time left on the clock. And they're making sure no mid push or B push come through. huge power position here for FaZe. The Copenhagen Flames think this one smoke is going to get them to go to the other side of the map, but they are not even considering the thought.
Nah, they know what they want, and that's the A site.
They can't afford to give up a round for free in this spot. Smoke gets missed here on the T side. That can totally ruin the round, actually, so let's see if hoxie can stop this.
Still no plant.
Bomb is not planted.
Twist confirms it. Rain, he'll find niko. That's over towards the B site, but obviously they know it's still A. Kerrigan, he finds that cut through mid. As we have seen, Roy, Gabby, 2v5,
wow.
and this one with no life left on it. That one smoke, dude, they leaned on that a lot.
They were hoping to hell because they didn't want to overstack the A site. You know you need more people to pull B. You just need 1 or 2 kills to make the retake possible on the A site. But there they lose, is it hoxie? Right in the beginning, Zyphon, right in the beginning?
Yeah, Zyphon in main.
Yes, and that was a no support push there.
hoxie and Donut also dies for free, so both your A players empty-handed because of Kerrigan's mid-split.
One thing that was more unique from what we saw from FaZe in the first half is they used an AWP instead of a rifle to make that push happen. So even though Robs actually didn't always win the fight, most of the time he's able to stay alive. They were scared of him, and he has a huge advantage. Anyone peeking him like Robs just did right there, if Zyphon had an AWP, it was GG.
FaZe put themselves in a prime position. 7 map points on their opponent's pick to push this series into Nuke, but hoxie, he's going to get aggressive from mid with the play into Rain, pushing everything else from FaZe towards A instead. Molotov over the top of middle, Kerrigan to take to the helm, and this chase towards Donut's gone well for him. Sure enough, he finds hoxie. Roy, immediate trade straight back. Zyphon now with AWP, now in Temple, but he gets set on fire, which was a huge difference between the last time that niko was able to go big from there. Both the AWPs at a bit of a distance. Roy walking in, but he's looking to the left. He doesn't suspect that Twists is this deep already. 2 versus 4, now the 1v3 for Brokey. 55 seconds, they start to look back, they start to look elsewhere. And Brokey's AK, rounding Temple, will be given space. He could wait.
Yeah, he's in kind of an outpost, and the CTs are going to search back, but still playing 2 around here, and Brokey, he'll get tagged. Okay, Zyphon will finish him, 1 through the wall. Zyphon falls back on the secondary, and that's enough. That was... You can see right there, there's a perceptible difference. They mollied Temple twice to make sure that niko couldn't get their off shot, but they still had multiple other frags come in, and they got the CT smoke down before they peaked as well, and Flames kept up with them. Everything leaning towards A, just like it was yesterday with Spirit versus Copenhagen Flames. They are trying to copy and paste the game plan, but the defense has strengthened since then.
Shout out to Roy as well. Such a quick refrag to come in from top mid, deal with Kerrigan. Make sure he can't get all the way into A.
Yeah. Kerrigan snuck by through Donut, making that config play. And 2 times now got the kill. Rain on the other side.
He almost finds it to a T. I mean, that's the thing with these wallbangs. They go both directions, and he knows it. He knows it better than anyone. Flash perfect for the ramp, but there is still Kerrigan in the corner. Good trade frag from the IGL of FaZe. Heavier B lean this time around because heavier presence shown from the T side. Just playing in response. Roy, powerful position.
Some residual damage on Roy earlier on from brain spam. And it looks like he might get attacked again.
Meanwhile, we've got Robs just taking a bit of a glance towards mid, sees no CT pushed up. Roy, oh, he survives the Kerrigan fight with a measly 11 HP, falls back, and the T's go past. This is a very quick redirection.
Oh, yeah, the AWP is starting to come back. I don't know if this was heard, but they don't see any pressure now on B.
Zyphon, first shot, great into Rain, gets out onto the side, a second from him to Twist, and 3 from inside Temple. Zyphon.
That's wicked.
Praise for a solo A-hold.
Yes, yeah.
And he gets his answers.
And the 2-up adjustment comes through. And it's actually a hard fight, but FaZe will use their first time out of the map.
Without those smokes, without those Molotovs, Zyphon, the one time that we've seen his A-hold actually tumble was the time that he had the rifle inside of main. immediately pulls out that AWP, as FaZe had. Gets 2 impactful moments back-to-back to keep Copenhagen Flames alive on Ancient.
Yeah, he's doing that alone. And alone with a rifle is so different than alone with an op. This is so well played, man. The angles he sets up here, even on this position, knows where he can't fall back.
Perfect angles.
You have to
Perfect
take some kind of risk, and he knew exactly where to take those. So it's a 5-round game suddenly. FaZe will be quite happy about how good their first half went, on top of winning the second pistol.
4 for 4 in the series. But losing both pistols didn't stop the Flames from winning Inferno either. Just the fact that this one has to go beyond regulation. Yabby's going to be up close on this ramp.
I think FaZe have shown more depth on their T side, though. They're willing to use the clock to its maximum to try to get frags.
Ooh, through smoke.
But okay, Roy.
niko's top mid. Guns fumbling here for FaZe. And 11th being lined up as Roy continues to look for this pressure on the side of Cave. Rain almost getting him with the gap.
But he knows now he's right side.
And that's
This one falling out. Ooh, there was a rifle there. Hooksy doesn't want any of that. This is still kind of Cave 1 here by Rain. You know, he feels like it's empty now. It's a couple of times now where that little bit of info has put a little, dog tag on the player in there, and they've been able to track him. So it's an unlikely situation in the 5v3. They're starting to get everything in order for the attack with Cave.
So uncomfortable right now. Sure enough, he goes down.
Yeah.
Could see that one coming as he was burned out of the corner. So the site still falls. FaZe have managed to post plant. The 3v5 now equalized. Brokey with the double on the AK. Rain, the stone golem, still inside his cave. Hooksy's walking up. That's the back of Brokey. But it's not actually taken down just yet. Brokey could even get into cover.
He's not willing to tuck just yet.
Hooksy's waiting. Gets Rain first. Brokey right back at it. Looking for the 26th. Looking to end it with the ace. And niko keeps them alive for at least another round. The CT side that just keeps giving.
Wow, that reposition. Man, Brokey stayed fully exposed to Banana, but it was because he had a rifler watching the angle for him. That was almost a beautiful way to win that and close the game out. And it would have ended on an ace too. Even slinking back into the pillar, reading the rotation from niko, who could have been on either side of CT spawn. Such a good attempt. And they know that they had to push farther. Okay, in the 3v5, yeah, they get a kill in the site. But they had to push farther than that to win the post plant. And Brokey knows that opportunity. That would have been huge.
Yeah, what a way that would have been to send us to Nuke. Zyphon wants to start by playing a dangerous game. With these 3 players already to the right side, I mean, yeah, he's exposed.
Yeah.
Robs with an advantage on that peak. That's Zyphon to fall back already on 50 HP. If they can just maintain mid, then the Ace site should be okay, but there is little emphasis for the rotation. If Zyphon just gets cleared empty-handed, then we've already seen a similar spot where the retake just really could not get rolling, and now he is definitely under pressure. Falls all the way back into the depths of Temple. Roy getting a chance to fight towards mid. He will catch that kill versus Kerrigan. Twist bombarded by utility here, and Hooksy's here to lend a helping hand. niko and Zyphon, that double op, locks it in, and A-Site is not in the hands of FaZe this time. No, sir.
Wow, the counter smokes from the CTs to open up for all that smoke spam damage, and they really made that interesting. Rain stands strong, and niko is trying to win this with just a pistol. He'll get lit up to 19 health.
You know, the only thing better than a Brokey ace would be Rain in a 1v5. But Yabby's going to end it. Just as we start to think of the possibility, Copenhagen Flames still 3 rounds to go to get us into OT.
Man, they had them frozen like a deer in headlights. The smokes that get dropped in the site as the full exec comes in. And again, double-edged sword. You know, you get all of your nades out, but it offers the opportunity for the CTs to telegraph the hit and respond accordingly. And that's why it's become more favorable to try to do the walkouts. But look at the wall of smokes that come in. It's partly the Ts that are using their smokes to scale, but also the CTs that now just have just a wall where they can listen and try to get smoke spam damage off.
Faster one, perhaps. Single Galil. An abundance of grenades. And a Copenhagen Flames that just hangs on. What was 12-3, now 15-12. Molly volley into the site. Yavi tucked in, survives the test of Kerrigan and twists. Easy does it on the entry. niko has been everywhere. Woo. And look at that kill feed. It is a flood of blue.
That's hot. No problems there for Yavi. He has been consistently putting up kills in that spot. Another tac pause called here for FaZe Clan, and good thing they saved him, because it turns out they would need him.
The second half recovery.
They haven't tried to lurk in through snipers a single time this game. They've at most had Kerrigan come through off the config spawn, routing with the MAC-10 in through Donut. That's actually worked out a couple of times, but I don't think they've even converted those rounds, even though that was a big advantage. So right now it's been extremities here for FaZe. Very little pressure on late mid. And funnily enough, I mean, Flames have not been playing Daddy on sites that heavily. They've been playing heavy and mid into the late round. It's just that the couple of anchors that they have been doing so good they don't even need to. So it might be scary for FaZe to take the rounds in different directions, but it feels like these set tactics are not going to be enough to win.
It's like cave to mid supports have also really helped.
Okay, finally they do.
Kerrigan gets past. Hooksy, he's going to have a flash to go out with, but it's Twists and Kerrigan.
But they're not totally convinced. Hooksy, if he's not careful.
I mean, niko could rail one here. Rain, he's already gotten past the cave.
Yeah, they're keeping their eyes on it. They're
There's
not going to scale without this
presence.
smoke, though.
And with nobody inside of that A main play, Zyphon just leaning back.
Ooh, this could be the... Is this the Kerrigan call? Is this the round 29 call where, again, he collects the data, he starts to work up more, he builds a story based on what he's seen? Will this be the capitulation that puts Copenhagen Flames over the edge at this point? I don't know. They have stacked the right place.
Computes all the variables. No forward cave play. You get Rain in here.
There's so much pressure.
Roy and niko looking to hold it. The op shot will certainly help, and that boom of the sniper will send a shiver down FaZe's spine, because round 30, if they don't end it right here, right now, they are so close to this bomb site. Pressed up on ramp, missed shot. Roy's position still unknown. Kerrigan looking to clear it. Meanwhile, Rops will take down that bomb site, and Roy, he's the last line of defense. A wall bang off of the mark, twists on a bit of a swivel, goes just a couple steps deeper, and Zyphon's rotation comes over. Oh, that's the big one. Rops with the headshot. Now there's no cave control. We've got Hooksy on the flank, and Zyphon coming in from CT spawn so slowly. From 14-3 to 15-13, and Kerrigan may have finally called the solution, but Zyphon now has to be everything, and he won't be.
Wow.
They push the limit, and they push this series straight into Nuke.
God damn, they put FaZe to work. That was such a slugfest. Back and forth, and strong CT sides, but almost equivalently strong CT side out of Flames in a place where it looked like the mountain was too high. Even losing a second pistol. FaZe ended up closing that out, and it is finally a call with Kerrigan. That's just that touch bit of complexity that they needed with the mid control, and he is the fragger, and the reason that they're able to pull that back. There was nothing about that Flames weren't ready for. They had 3 in the site. niko made his rotation from snipers over towards B.
He did it.
And he got the first kill on Rain, and yet Kerrigan still traded him out.
Kerrigan the puppeteer, baby, pulling those strings, piecing it all together, and pulling it off in the end. But now we go to Nuke, where these two teams are looking for their shot at playoffs in Antwerp. The desk stands by to unpack Ancient. One hell of a comeback. No pistols, no wins.
Flames try to fight back, but the ferocious 12-3 lead from FaZe means it's a hard mountain to be climbing. I'm sure we'll talk about that second half coming into things, but I do want to start off by praising exactly what we were expecting from FaZe coming into this one, completely subverting what we were seeing on that Inferno, the fact that they bolstered that defense, and they took a solid lead in that first half, Maniac.
yes, no solution to be found for Flames. We have to kickstart things with Rain and how he played that cave position. We had this conversation in the green room whether or not he is in that very small list of best player in that position.
Yeah.
Definitely has the knowledge and the vista to know when he can get so many kills for free, basically for free, the amount of damage he was doing. And once again, they neutralized Roy. Roy had a very, very silent T side. He bounced back, as we can see here on the stats. He was there on the CT side. But for the defense, Rain, I think, was the focal point.
Definitely. And the thing is that Rain isn't even always set up to succeed in Cave. He just has the timings with those smoke spams, the wall bangs, all of that. It works in his favor. And every time you feel like you're Flames and you might have some position towards Cave that you might just want to hit the site and avoid Rain, he sometimes peels back to the bomb site. He goes into some of those deeper angles on B that people can play, and he finds so much impact from those because they just think he's going to be in Cave all the time. So it's such a guessing game to get Rain. But the thing is that when he plays that guessing game, somehow he just kills people through smoke. Look at the amount of frags he's getting with wall bangs and just guessing the sound. I don't know what he's doing to his eardrums right now, but they are getting blown out for the best reason possible because he hears everything. He smells them.
So many wall bangs.
Yeah, I absolutely love that we get to see such a variety of different players on this particular bomb site, as you're alluding to. All these different types of angles, all these different types of positionings. Incredibly instrumental for that first half from FaZe. Anything else that you want to throw out there for why they had such a bolstered CT defense on the side of FaZe in that first half?
Well, I think it's only fair to give props to Kerrigan as well, because just as much as we would like to picture him at the bottom of the scoreboard, not doing anything and just puppeteering, as we say, he was actually pulling his weight. 21 kills. When was the last time you saw Kerrigan have almost as many kills and Robs and Twist combined? That's what happened on Nation, right? They had 23, he had 21. So I think he definitely balanced a little bit, compensated a little bit, and Brokey on the A side is still very potent. To me, is one of the best AWP handling that tempo position. He did it again here.
Yes, yeah. When Brokey gets that op, and I mean, I think Launders and Scrawny have both named that position Brokey in the past.
There you go.
I don't know if it really stuck, but either way.
They tried.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and Brokey tried. I mean, and the thing is he delivers. That's what's so impressive about him. I think the main thing, though, that worries me about Copenhagen Flames is that this just looked a little bit flat. I really think that when they play with that 1-0 map lead, I don't know if they relax. I don't know what's in their minds exactly, but it feels a little bit less fiery than we're used to from them, where I've seen T-sides from them in the past look better than this. And obviously we gave a lot of credit to FaZe there too, but I think that there could be a slightly deeper playbook for Copenhagen Flames, something that they can investigate, something about tempo shifts. But one guy that was a master of tempo shifts was Kerrigan in this game. The T-side there was looking pretty dire for FaZe, and then last round call switches everything up.
Yeah, let's jump into that final round. What exactly were you impressed by Kerrigan calling on this particular round to close things out?
So a lot of the earlier gun rounds for FaZe were a little bit faster, just a set piece, an A exec, B exec, a little bit of mid presence too, but things were out of spawn. This time, look at the time on the clock. This mental pressure that is pushed onto Copenhagen Flames when there's 30 seconds left, and it almost feels like in this position, you're supposed to be more favored when you're a CT. The clock becomes your friend, but just the fact that Kerrigan made them wait just feels like it's everything. It changed how Copenhagen Flames performed mechanically in those moments. That's not something that you can even really put a number on or quantify necessarily, but you can definitely qualify it because they missed some key shots in that moment that they otherwise would not.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I was going to counterpoint this. On this last round, I feel like Flames have the setup they need. They have that double cave setup.
It looked
plus
good.
A B player, they have the rifle. So the read is here for Hooksy. But this is what Counter-Strike sometimes is about. You can have the good idea, but if nikodos punishes Rain and then misses onto Kerrigan, that kill, which is supposed to be guaranteed, no utility being used, the whole setup just tumbles. And that, to me, was the reason why they won that round.
And it was good to see that Kerrigan could make those kind of adaptations and make these calls coming into that, what ended up being the final round of the map, because we saw a streak of 5 rounds coming out of Copenhagen Flames, just broken by the back of FaZe with 1 round, and then another 5 from them as well. It really was the story of the CT sides, which for me was maybe a little bit disappointing from Flames, considering this was their map pick, and there is a hell of a lot of tape out there on FaZe, on that CT side. That's practically all we've seen of them. So I was hoping for maybe, I don't know, a few more surprises, a little bit more spiciness out of the T side.
As was I, Freya. And I think actually a couple of the rounds there, Yabby delivered very well. His entries are fantastic. He can run into a bomb site and clear out 2 players with 2 bullets consecutively in a spray transfer. Those kind of things make me excited for what I see from Copenhagen Flames. But the fact that they couldn't get any more mileage out of that with how explosive some of those entries look, it's worrying. It's concerning because they were performing incredibly well on Inferno. And I don't even think they cooled off too much individually when they went to Ancient, but some of the plans there were just a little bit too easy to foil for people like Rain and Kerrigan.
Maybe apart from Roy, though, I think that's somebody that we do have to put under the microscope as a difference maker that we definitely saw really popping off in Inferno. But the fact that he comes onto Ancient and is just, I don't know, really slow on that first half, that was disappointing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I will give him props for the reaction on the CT side because we put him under a lot of scrutiny after that first half. We were watching in the green room thinking, is he going to disappear? And actually, when he was requested to act on and back his aim, he did it on the CT side. The problem that we are seeing right now is a little bit of limitation in the win conditions for Flames to have a good T side on Ancient. I've seen Roy dominate. I've seen him have good T sides, and here he was shut down. Maybe it's not player-oriented. Maybe it's position-oriented. Maybe it's because Rain shuts down Cave so well that the game style and the game plan falls through for Flames. That's a possibility. However this is, Kerrigan found a way to stop it. But we should also not elude their T side from FaZe. I mean, that wasn't exactly great.
No.
It was not easy, not solid at all.
Definitely the tale of the CT sides coming onto the grounds of Ancient, but FaZe do push it with that win to the third and final deciding ground of Nuke. This will confirm who goes catapulting themselves to that spot in the Sports Palais for the playoffs of the Major. We're going to find out exactly how it goes down after this short break.
For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen. GG bet. This is real.
Nuke, the final stop in this marathon best of 3 series, as both FaZe and Flames fight for a spot at the playoffs of the PGL Antwerp Major. Of course, so much on the line coming into this, and just setting the scene for Nuke for both of these teams. Maniac, before we get into the nitty gritty, what are we what are our overall expectations for each of these sides?
Well, I think if we mention Copenhagen Flames, we have to make it clear that they have a date with Destiny right now. For all the fans around the world who followed them through Stockholm and their journey, they were in that 2-1 position. They were 1-1 in maps against Heroic, went on to lose map number 3, and then we all know the heartbreak that happened against NIP, that famous 2-1, the famous overtime. Now, how much of that is actually playing in the back of their minds right now, knowing that this is the one map that separates them from either the playoff and the dream, the actualization of the dreams that they had, or the 2-2 and the nightmares of Stockholm again. So there is a lot at stake going on the server in the next few minutes.
But pitted against them is a team that also feels like they have a right to this trophy. FaZe are a team that doesn't even want to be in a 2-1 position. They thought they should have probably got through this 3-0. Other than that early BO1 loss to Ence, this team has been fantastic in the Legends stage. They've been playing so well before this. Katowice, Pro League, all these trophies, and they want a major one to add to their cabinet.
You brought up a nice little comparison just before we were going live, Mary, between Rain and Roy. What are we seeing here?
Rain versus Roy. This, to me, is the matchup of the series in this concluding map. Both of these players responsible frequently for what is going on outside. And when Copenhagen Flames are on the attack, it is Roy that is the spearhead of that offense. And so Rain has his work cut out for him. We have seen him already deliver in this series. That's what these stats are showing right here. And he needs to do it once again. If he can stop Roy, then there is no further game plan for Copenhagen Flames. They have the couple A execs, the couple ramp pops, but this is where their bread and butter is. Yeah. It's in Roy, and he has not been showing up in this series so far.
This comparison is a fantastic omen if you're a FaZe fan around the world. I mean, the Rain is currently on 1.31 rating, 2 maps deep into the series. He's the highest fragger with 50 kills, 85 ADR. Actually, just as much as I want to name him like a supportive player, support development, here right now, he is taking all the spotlight. He is the one making the difference. He has been that solid rock that we thought maybe Robs would be.
Yeah, and that is a nice question to be bringing into this particular series because Robs and Twist not delivering maybe in the consistent way that we hope so far.
I'm a little bit puzzled. I'm a bit puzzled, Maui. I have to be honest, because if you ask me who would I blindly put my faith and trust in FaZe, I'd say Twist is going to deliver, Robs is going to deliver. 2 anchors, exceptional CT-sided players on that ramp and inside position. Matter of the fact is, they're at the bottom of the scoreboard right now. They barely have below 60 ADR across the series. 0.87, 0.88 rating. I think this has to be now. I don't even think mathematically they could have 3 bad or average maps in a row. They never do.
It seems unthinkable to imagine that, especially given how much of a staple Rops has become in terms of his nuke play. His holds at ramp are nearly flawless, either multi-fragging or just peeling off after getting one. That stuff is textbook. It's what you want to see from that player. But on Ancient, he went, and even on Inferno, he went for a couple, what I would say, uncharacteristic pushes. Yeah, some mistakes coming out from him. If there is an opportunity for Copenhagen Flames to capitalize on a Rops that's not delivering today, if he can't hold ramp, then this game can turn easily on its head. And for Twist at A, especially, those A execs, he needs to be finding a couple frags because retaking A is so hard if you are in a man deficit situation on CT side. Both of those guys need to show better faces than they have so far in this series.
We're focusing a lot on the CT side for both of these players, but respectively 3rd and 4th highest rated T-sided players of the tournament so far. So if we're flipping things over to that side of things, what are you hoping to see out of both Twists and Robs coming into the terrorist side of things?
Well, the thing is, honestly, Robs right now hasn't exactly found these, what I call secondary timings into rounds, right? Usually you don't, I'm not expecting for Robs to open up a round, but usually whenever there is a little bit of agitation on the side of the opponents, he would know when to strike. Obviously, I have Inferno famously in mind, where anytime there is a rotation coming in, he'll kick in. I would like to see him do that on Nuke as well. I would like to see him be, maybe, weirdly enough, slightly more patient than what we have seen right now, but just to be able to attack on the timing, to pounce on it and be decisive, that I haven't seen yet.
Rops is the scariest player to be lurking door on inner lobby for the T side of Nuke. There's not a single guy where you just think, yeah, let's clear that guy out. Let's have a contingency plan on our CT side to try to just find some lobby presence. Because when people challenge Rops, when they go for that lobby crunch, he's always good for 2. Sometimes even gets 3. He's had some highlight rounds just holding down that space. That's why Kerrigan has lauded him as a teammate, because you don't have to do anything for Rops at inner lobby Nuke, and he can just decimate a team as soon as they realize they lose that outside space. But it is predicated off the fact that Rain, Kerrigan have to take something away from the CTs first. That's when Rops gets activated. So if the initial game plan doesn't work out for Kerrigan and Rain, then Rops doesn't even have a time to activate, and he looks like the baiter that sometimes he is at the end of these rounds.
Well, I'm very excited to see how it will be playing out on the 3rd and final deciding ground of Nuke. This decides who catapults themselves to the Sports Palais for the playoffs of the PGL Antwerp Major. And to do so, we've got Scrawny and Launders to guide you through it.
Thank you very much, you guys. Always killing it over there, Launders. They do a great job, don't they?
Yes. I don't like to say nice things about them because they're off camera, giant egos, and they walk around and talk about how good. No, I'm just kidding.
Especially Freya.
Awesome. Yeah, Freya's the worst. Plus, she's cheats at Scrabble. Can't forget about that. But
never forget.
This is Nuke. This is a great 3rd map. This is going to be an exciting series, and I love the emphasis from the desk on Rops. what's crazy is like when he's playing bad, he doesn't look like he's playing bad. He just be missing. You know what I mean? Like he looks always super composed. He holds the angle he really wants to. He just slightly missed and died a few times.
Doesn't hit.
Not super comfortable today, and he plays such a key role on both sides on Nuke, so he'll be somebody that we'll watch for. I mean, there's enough behind this that I actually don't think this comes down to one player. But like Maui said, in controlling Squeaky, which some would say, well, okay, here's what I would say. It's the most important part of the map on Nuke. It's the hardest role to play. Players like Bit are extremely good and defined NaVi's Nuke win streak by holding it down. It's a position that you don't get support in, and that you oftentimes will be able to kill CTs rotating either from their upper anchor spots to mini, or just punishing the mini player for trying to like come back into the site or fight you. And you have a guy like Rops there. He just wins most of his duels in most of his time in his life. Like in his life, he just wins most of the time with no help whatsoever. If he's not playing well, then yeah, that is a problem. Sure. And that's something that Kerrigan for a while now has been able to put in the back of his mind. Like, it's just a given. We're going to win most of the time. There's going to be a random 5v4 that comes here with him playing the spot, but that might today not be the case.
Now, you said it can't just be one person for things to go wrong, but what if it's going to be two people? Because we also put Twists underneath a bit of a microscope coming off of these first two maps. Not as big of a question maybe per se, but also an important position on the CT side when it comes to playing on site.
Now, he's been a lot better, but Rain outside that's a big job, right? I mean, the players that play outside, you're putting like
you're the backbone.
You're putting like Niko outside. And the scariest part is that there can be any variation of outside smokes that come your way, and you at the beginning of the round kind of have to guess as to what you think the attack is going to look like. And that can change whether or not you are going to play behind mini, or if you're going to play tucked red, if you're going to peek the outside of red with a supporting flash, if you're going to play in secret, which is one of your safest locations. But in the majority of rounds, you're going to have to keep it changing over and over again. There's a lot of floating that goes on. And this is actually the highlight and upside about Rain right now. He's playing the best CS on the whole team by a huge margin. So that'll be scary for Copenhagen Flames to try to think about when it comes to attacking him. Now, I don't know who's going to start on which side, but that can really change like how we look at this. Now, on the Copenhagen Flames side, niko has been a key performer. I mean, he was taking over there on Ancient a little bit. He's not quite at that level where, like, with that like quality of eliteness where you just see him consistently drop 30, but honestly, in terms of impact, I felt like he was a very reliable person. He never died in an awkward spot. He hit a lot of really hard shots. And he also traded a lot with his op on T side, which I think that is so much easier said than done. Being closely spaced on T side with your op, knowing your teammate is going to commit to an exchange, or you have to watch something else for them, and then hitting that, I think that's something that he specializes in, and something that he's proven already, even today just versus FaZe, that he can really keep up with someone like Brokey. Now,
what if I were to tell you that Copenhagen Flames start this map on CT side, not T side?
Yes.
Does that spring anything to mind?
Yeah, then the conversation goes back to, well, first of all, I really like FaZe's T sides. A lot of variety. They are really good about one thing when it comes to outside, and that's not being scared of taking over big garage. So catching lurks will be huge. I think we sometimes see Hooksy, if I'm not mistaken, floating there. I haven't watched too much Copenhagen Flames, so I can't remember exactly who it is playing the back of big garage. But I think one thing about FaZe is they're able to fan the map very quickly. And yeah, they're not shy about taking outside control.
Well, let's see it. That's where Rain actually starts the party. This is, of course, a map 3 between the Flames and FaZe for a spot in the playoffs. And Copenhagen Flames had their chance in a map 3 yesterday on Ancient versus what felt like the biggest of underdogs. And they couldn't close. That seed of doubt seeping through, and Rain seeping into this A site. Roy, he's just going to get completely rocked because Rain was able to get over top of Mini, clamber all the way into heaven, and then execute it with ease. FaZe, bomb plant on that A site. It's a single-man advantage, but Zyphon, he's got 1 point of health. There's this weird situation with Twist still a little further back, but he comes in through Mini, so he should be able to help if things start... Yeah, he will be able to help. Nice little tap into Zyphon, and Kerrigan's going to close it. That is 5 for 5 FaZe winning pistols.
Rain looked over at Kerrigan, and he said, "Weaponize me, daddy." Kerrigan said, "Okay, son, you get out there." Ran over top of Silo like he had rollerblades on, in through Mini, out through heaven, and instantly. I mean, minute 20, he's in heaven killing them at the top of hut. So what else is there to say except for this enormous timing was taken advantage of by FaZe, and Flames had no idea about it. So they're already showing how comfortable they are taking space on T side and why they're so good on T side in general.
Hope for Copenhagen Flames' sake they can at least win a single pistol in this series. They've only got one more chance.
Yeah, true.
Mag 7 on Roy, scout for niko. And FaZe starting to take a little bit of a glance towards that ramp room. Molly goes in, util all around it. Brokey gonna clear all the corners and nothing. Nobody's seen. Nothing sensed.
All you can do is swing your arm when you get the incorrect stack on CT side. It's so hard to rotate over because of the verticality. So FaZe gamble correctly. Hooksy will come on in, try to make something happen with the CZ. But it's one of the worst pistols these days.
That it is. There's still some people using it.
It almost works like a Zeus in the sense that if you hold an angle, it's one of the best pistols. But as soon as it has to become something where you entry or like far away and you have to fight, it's no longer that good. It's a really nice landmine, but beyond that, it can oftentimes let you down. And oh, they're still working on outside.
They're everywhere.
Keeping options open is the FaZe way.
5-7, meanwhile. Sign me up. Deagles, well, personally, I'm just not good enough. But Yabby certainly could be. If somebody comes up this ladder, he'll gut punch him. FaZe going to take that second one. Ramp, just easy, man. Rain, he was lubed up from that first one. Slid through heaven.
Yeah, I think that's good too. I mean,
Then they all rolled down ramp.
the better Rain is playing, like just keep giving him carry roles. And I like Kerrigan's so malleable when it comes to his calling. He's so open to the idea of changing things all the time. You can see the adaptation. He plays off of what's happening now, not his ideas going into the match or his preconceived notions.
Yeah.
Instead, if something is working, he's going to run off that. If he sees an exploit that he didn't see in the preparation, he's going to change it, tailor it live. And that's really the scariest part about Kerrigan, what makes him the best caller right now.
A real craftsman in that sense. He's got a toolbox full of players and plans, rearranging them as he sees necessary. Lots of damage done versus Brokey and Twist, so much so that the P2K and USP will each get a kill here for Flames, but then that's the end of that, and FaZe 3-0. So not only winning every pistol of this series, but converting for a minimum of 2 rounds off of it every time. It's just strong starts each half for at least one more in this series, dude.
We look back on a stellar Inferno, you know, the fact that 2 pistols were lost and Flame still won. That was a super solid map. But now we're at the point 1-1. Flames have a very comfortable, you know, Nuke. I mean, it's scary in every single situation.
They're Danish.
They nearly won that last one. I mean, yeah, it's literally written into their genetic code that they can win this map. But there's also a Danish IGL on the other side.
Yeah, if you had any secret weapon.
Uh-oh.
Hooksy blinded and dead. There's the peek back from Yabby. Can he hold both sides? No. Kerrigan trades that one, takes the bomb out. Brokey's got coverage from Vent, and Zyphon just can't see anything.
Oh, bad
With
molly.
that flash, he goes in. And that was an opening created because of a bad nade. 2K. And Brokey, he went down the Vent in the meantime.
Yeah, he should have been fine to do this and rotate up through secret, but now he's in a spot where he might have to make a very hard rotation. So they smoke so he can escape.
Twists. He gets that kill inside hut. Bomb still planted front sight. niko runs in, puts a smoke on it, and that's where Brokey doubles back to end it. FaZe will find a fourth. Miss utility with a nice setup from Copenhagen Flames, trying to play a 2v4.
2 mollies popped up in heaven that missed. FaZe have missed a fair few bits of utility in the series already, which is not really a good sign, but the flashes were the things to really steal the show here. Roy just snuck in through the mini smoke, so it was a double entry from Rops, but it was the beautiful flashes from Twist and the perfect timing on the exit that made the most difference. And we're back to saving here for Copenhagen Flames.
Of course, the analyst panel also mentioning, like, it just feels impossible that FaZe, or specifically Rops, is going to have like a poor performance 3 maps in a row.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it. You know,
It would be, you know, numerically doesn't stack up, highly unlikely. This should be his moment. FaZe, you know, could take over with him. We'll see. But 5-2 so far. And another chance to farm some easy kills. Siphon on the boxes. Playing whack-a-mole with broken drops and insta deagle headshot falls down into the B site. Very clean kickoff for this one.
Keeping tabs on back red here with Rain.
FaZe have been good with dealing with these kinds of rounds, right? We haven't had any mix-ups really. So even with that 5 versus 4, they stabilize. And HooXi will get one outdoors. So that's a gun offered over.
Yeah, we're 3 on 3.
Kerrigan with the bomb plant. It's still a little bit of life for what it is, how it started.
Half armor, and niko has picked up an AK, so that's something.
Yeah, it is winnable.
Post plant is very good. Decon's open. CT's starting to come over. See how long they take, though.
Double door swing.
Oh, niko with the AK on that side.
Kerrigan in the open. Doesn't land his shots. Now Decon swings open. Taps away. There's the AK. Dealt with and twists. Helps out versus Yabi. It's a kill apiece from the 3 FaZe players all surviving. FaZe find 5 as quick as can be.
A very nice start here for FaZe. Everything is kind of working out beautifully. Flames still have a ton of time. But time is a weird thing. You know, and these rounds can go quickly.
It's just a concept, really.
It is.
Unit of measurement.
Indeed. Have you ever tried to count to a minute without a clock? It's impossible. Diagonal smokes.
Good nade pressure here. You alluded to it in the pregame. Rain,
Ouchie.
Rain taking on responsibility outside. Well, he's also taking on damage before he gets into the fight, but it doesn't make a difference, damn it.
You got to take a snapshot of that moment because it's Rain versus Roy. In this matchup, Rain has been the top fragger, and Roy has severely underperformed for Copenhagen Flames. They do need him, and that's a spot where Rain really had 30 HP. He's down to 3, but he gets the kill, he gets secret control, he's now in an outpost, and the T's options are wide open in a minute 10. There is still this health lingering over top of them. You know, Rop's almost out of this round.
Liability.
But I'd still rather have the 5v4.
Especially if you can just throw Brokey, Kerrigan, or Twist to that next fight.
Pay attention to how uncomfortable HooXi is. He can hear things sitting inside a mini, but he can't help outside. He's open to hut and... upstairs is being understaffed right now. Kerrigan is walking right by this lurk.
niko finally turns.
Yeah, there's a chance for him.
Getting ahead of it. Yep, sure enough. Warning sign was there. niko able to now come back and try and help on ramp. If the commitment was made, Rain finds back turn, won't finish off HooXi, but that's going to push him to 40. Fire in front of him. Does he have a little sanctuary here? No, sir, because Brokey swings, but he still hangs on. As niko comes down from heaven, Copenhagen Flames looking to break through. All that's left of Rain is that measly 3 HP and the 15 seconds for Flames to lock this in with.
Wow.
They will find it.
Man.
A test. Pressure from all directions inside the A site.
HooXi is a brave man. He
CTs
pushed
hang on.
slightly out into that molly just to get any kind of little advantage that he could. It's the only reason he won that duel. So lucky to have survived as Rain fluffs the spray on him going into mini.
That could have been it.
It also was HooXi to hear Kerrigan running by mini and alarm niko, who had the op, who ended up turning around just in time to kill him.
Good warning system in place to keep this one competitive. First round win for the defense. Brokey right back to the success story as he plucks niko off of credit card, but there is this player push close. Roy, having lost to Rain in the previous round, will get his revenge here in number 7.
Yeah, as soon as the molly was coming right for Roy.
Rops is already through the doorway though. Smoke soon to fade. Look at that. Rops couldn't see anything.
Oh, he couldn't see anything. There was a second smoke behind him, and he was in a full one.
He thought he was so smart. But reality makes him look foolish.
Double up on ramp again. Trying to bait FaZe into this late. They haven't really been interested. Outside walk comes through. Door blown open for Brokey to have a line, and they could sneak into mini off of this position. Roy will be moved out of the spot. Now Yabi's push through hut will probably matter a lot. Roy goes down, but they're actually just outside in general. Now they'll come towards Squeaky.
A split. HooXi on top of Hut.
Oh, HooXi dies.
There's
Oh,
the
Zypher goes
flank.
down. Yabby was, oh my god, Yabby had pushed too, but now he's just back going up to heaven in a 1-on-3.
The fact that Yabby got out from that door on Hell, but he wasn't able to get any of the fights in from Mini, so he's not able to help before they get on site. 15 seconds, Kerrigan's hands are busy. Twist looks up, Brokey's so low. Yabby first kill, second! Oh, that transition into what is the 1v3 versus Brokey on 19 health. And Brokey doubles back all the way towards Squeaky. Yabby has been so sharp on those kinds of moments. And now as he's wary about the Hut play, this bomb is planted back site.
Brokey's not in a position to defend this.
How is he going to stop it? When the commitment to this defuse comes through with no kit,
Oh,
but Brokey
oh my-
lands the shot. He comes around the corner, and despite Yabby's best efforts, it's FaZe with 6.
There is no way Brokey figured that out.
Ice cold, man. He didn't check the first tap.
Yabby gave him so much respect there. He could have just defused the bomb, but he thought for sure Brokey
Look at this!
he has to play within the Hut. And Brokey comes out wide and hopes that Yabby big brains in and walks around the outside. Once he sees that Brokey's there, he realizes he could have stuck that literally 10 seconds, maybe even 2 times over. And Brokey only made that play because of his HP. There was no other choice for him.
Brokey's a killer.
Yeah, that was a good move, a smart move.
A sociopath.
And the respect is what earned him that.
And now we're right back into a gun round, and look at FaZe. Look at the ferocity of this one. Just running down now through that ramp. Kerrigan culled by Yabby. But in a gun round with an instant 5 versus 3.
Uh-oh, shots getting missed here, but that's niko's on the op.
FaZe can't get ahead of themselves. That round almost lost. They tried to run into this one with a bit of disrespect, a little bit of spin on it. Player against that back wall, dies to rain.
no.
Brokey up close, gets the best of Yabby yet again,
Oh,
and
that-
Rops with the end of Nikoda's 7-1 on this T
That
side.
rotation up was great if Roy had got his kill. Then Yabby could come up, and that would have just pushed them back into Squeaky. Whoa, this game's going 21-19. Is it map 3?
Map 2.
Map 2.
Still vertigo between Big
Oh my god.
and Vitalite.
Big one away from pulling that off.
La 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 la.
Holy. Okay. Flames are not the same beast from Inferno. Had some fire in that second map. Right now, don't look like they have the X factor anymore. Starting to lose some engagement, but the half isn't over. They've won an eco or 2. This one won't be one, it looks like.
Ooh, nice CZ damage. Got to give it there to Roy. Not only the kill, but also tapping into Rops' forehead. Here's Rops, though. We waited for the Rops show. We're getting the Rops show.
Yes.
11-4.
Kind of when they needed it.
You know, forget about that one round that he's just standing in a smoke. And you think to yourself, damn, man's back in action.
Yeah, don't bet him against him 3 maps in a row. It just doesn't happen.
You'll never see it.
But
You'll never see it happen.
I feel like Flames are losing confidence. They don't look as scary suddenly. I'm not exactly sure why. They still have a chance to win. The map is not beyond reach by any means, and they can play Nuke, but things are not lining up for the moment. Robs gets to sneak down. This is actually kind of scary for the CT side.
Rain here.
The op is not very welcome in this position for too long, because now, even if he takes contact with Brokey, Rain could potentially kill him.
Rops is coming up secret. Nikodas is done.
Jesus Christ, yeah,
No
Robs
chance.
literally snuck vent and came back outside, and
And
they
Roy
took
fell
that
all the
down.
way
Gee,
back.
with the flash too. Oh, bad goes to worse.
From Mini all the way into the CT spawn. HooXi's got a little life on this one. Round 10 could still be theirs. Good dink into Rops. HooXi within the vents will find Rops with his back turned, so that is the equalizing kill. 3v3,
But now
you've
the
got 2
vents.
players downstairs, and with the fire in front of it, HooXi not comfortable, still able to slide
Yikes.
out. Not sure who he wants to focus on. And so FaZe find that man advantage. Op shot connects from Brokey as he is just simply not missing.
Oh.
And it is Yabby in another 1v3. 2 players already back through hut and lobby. The other one's outdoors behind him. He's not going to find his kill straight down, but still finds twists at least. Half health for Yabby.
God damn, consistent on the silent drops, but they know he has to.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
they got
Kerrigan.
him.
This time he stops it. It was Kerrigan who got snapped into last time Twist died first. And Kerrigan, enough is enough. 9-1.
What a sick call. What a sick call from FaZe. The way that they worked outside. Rain stayed alive. They got him tucked in. They had the op behind it. And they didn't even have to use the op or the rifle up front to take out niko's outside. Instead, they surrounded him with Rops, who said, chill for a second. I've snuck down the vent. They haven't responded to this rotation at all. And instead of working down to decon, working over to control side and trying to stir up the ramp players, he goes back to outside just to clear that out with lots of time to spare. And then they trade it down, and Kerrigan's the one who saves it inside of Squeaky. And that's the options open, malleability that we talk about with FaZe and how they're so hard to read.
Rops and Kerrigan, easy kills deep inside of Hell. Again, just working through the little bits of buys that the CT side comes through with. Brokey, while being peppered by an MP9, still rips your head off. This is this kind of FaZe that just scares me.
Yeah, it's a terrifying FaZe. But it's also the form that we kind of hope they would have potentially going into playoffs. Of course, that doesn't mean that they're going to have it, but yeah, this is the 2-1 game and they will be locked in and end on a note where I think they feel more comfortable because there are bigger threats in Copenhagen Flames for them at this major, and one where right now, where it's kind of hard to see who's a favorite, most people would probably lean towards FaZe. This Legend stage could turn that on its head.
That was the narrative, the initial script. Ten rounds, 11 deep on this T side. No chance for Copenhagen Flames so far. Rops, he's going to walk out as they go for the two-man vet boost, and that timing's just so good as Rops connects to the other head. 15 and 6 so far.
No way he pulled that off.
Outdoors, we get Roy fighting Rain. That battle going back and forth, but that's Roy's 4th kill of this CT side. niko activates, gets man advantage, in fact. CT side still trying to survive, trying to hang on here. Warning shot goes by. Kerrigan knows that he has niko pinned to the wall. Twists
through the wall.
It. Is able to get the better of him and put Zyphon into the clutch.
Man, they're starting to look so desperate.
The 3rd attempt at a heaven clutch from Copenhagen Flames.
It always comes close, though.
And last time 1v3. This time 1v2. Kerrigan, first contact. Half of Zyphon's health is gone. Same can be said for the IGL of FaZe. Smoke to the paint can.
I don't think that hits that well, but it might be enough.
They're both just layered on top of each other. He's going to have to come out to get them, or just straight up go down. Peeks wide, Kerrigan kills him, and 11th for FaZe as they show no sign of stopping.
Man, a couple of times where they've just come flying up the vent and you think, wow, this is not the composure that we're used to seeing from the Flames. Now they're getting thinned down, and now the confidence plays are starting to come out. I mean, Rops literally didn't even tell anybody about this. Said, I'm walking out. I'm going out, HUD. Like, I'm walking out. I probably didn't say a word.
Mom, I'm going out.
Yeah. I'm leaving, packing up. I'm moving out. Rops has autonomy.
And he's not coming home till the sun goes down.
Rops has confidence. This is the scariest that he's been so far.
Desert Eagles at a CZ for Copenhagen Flames.
They're getting decimated and
Bodied.
Chance versus Spirit yesterday. Hard match here versus FaZe. One more attempt if they can't pull this out to qualify through, and this is starting 2-0. It's brutal, but it's the way it goes.
They wouldn't be the first team in major history to go from a 2-0 to a 2-3.
Yeah, you calling out fours like that?
I said no names. But yes. Little creepy crawl from Rain downstairs this time. It's man advantage for Copenhagen Flames on the armored Deagle buy. So again, you know, a matter of playing enough rounds to eventually stick the landing. But they get down the vents. Roy's going to go ahead and follow them. Doesn't make sense. Brokey knows it. Turns around, deals with that first threat. Now Twist's going to lock in any other buddies that decide to triple down. Backsite held onto by Rain, and that is 12 rounds to 11.
Yeah, they're following it up. They're playing. They're just FaZe have layers. FaZe have versatility. They have comforts. They can trust their pieces right now, which is the big thing that they really didn't have as much on Inferno. And we're now just talking about T side.
Could niko even hang on to the AK? A freebie, perhaps? No.
No,
Rob's
not
from
even
top
that.
silo.
No parting gifts.
Nothing. Nothing, Mo.
Potential for, yes, not even dignity. Potential
didn't-
for 3 rounds.
They didn't leave him a gift. They
We're
didn't
not-
bring him out for dinner first. They're just owning him.
Yeah. I always buy my opponent's gifts before owning them.
Leave him with like a mouse pad or something.
Yeah. No mouse pads, no frags. Maybe they should get some mouse pads. No one has over 10 kills so far for Copenhagen Flames.
It's just a whole other level from FaZe on this T side. And I mean, look, it doesn't stop. It does not stop. He just runs past the silo player.
Jesus.
He ignores HooXi. He discredits him. He disowns him. He neglects him.
The flashes worked out beautifully. I mean, to the point the entry fraggers could look for different targets before even finishing the last ones, and waited 13 rounds just to pull out the instant out of spawn full A attack. It feels like that's been something that IGLs do. They hang it over the CT's heads for long enough till they start to have to think about other things, and they hit them right in the gut. And this is just spectacular from FaZe.
We were finally waiting for what was supposed to be another moment, another gun round, a chance, maybe. Not even.
The A players can't even tell anybody what happened because they don't know. They were blind the whole time.
And they just died.
Really weren't even that many Molotovs on the site.
Does he even save it? No.
Wow.
The op even gets taken away from him at the very
Doesn't go
end of this, the final round of this half. The fastest of T halves I may have ever seen.
Yeah. What a sick start with that pistol round wrapping Heaven by a minute 20 into
God, that's how it started.
a series of different, outside plays. I mean, they're playing T-side Nuke to an idyllic level. Everything is so good. It's the scariest it could possibly be. It's so hard to read the map.
Rob's forced in.
And now and just confidence plays too.
Yeah, I mean, nobody
Inside
can
of the
hang on.
molly.
They're just trying, man. They're in free fall, and they're just trying to grab a ledge, grab a rock, grab a rope, and now they're just getting wrapped up in it. 2 versus 2. Final round of the first half. Smoke about to fade, and Rain could walk through, but instead it's Roy up from Secret. Another clutch needed, and finally, at the final step,
2
we get
rounds.
Copenhagen Flames with their second.
Yeah, that's cute.
But a deflating reality.
Yeah,
If they don't win their first pistol of this series,
the energy was not there this map. There was
it's over.
not enough defense outside. No 5v4s. They let Robs get rolling in a series where he might be doubting himself at least a little bit. No, not the case anymore. They were the ones who looked like they were on the back foot, not in control of things, making hasty rotations, not nearly as scary as they have been. FaZe know they have this one locked up. Let's see if they can turn the key.
Man, and they had such hope coming off of that Inferno win. A convincing Inferno win where we saw them turn the tail upside down. They improved where they needed to. How they almost, in a fairy tale essence, brought back Ancient. Try again, this time to the T side. Kills going their way at the very least. Pistol looking good. Kerrigan attacks in from Mini, but that Heaven Peak is also shut out, and there it is. 1 of 6. CPH Flames win the pistol.
Yeah, true. True, 1 of 6.
But what will it really net them? What good could this truly do?
Yeah, are they prolonging the inevitable? It's hard to say. They got this close to making that enormous CT side comeback on Ancients. That was very insane, actually. It was 2 to 14 at that point. They just don't have the same map bias that they do on Nuke.
Eagle over blue goes down. Rain dead. Frag damage. Chipping away at Hooksy. Please don't win the force by FaZe.
Oh, man.
Just don't do that.
Well, Robs is still alive, and he just got a kill untraded. And, oh, man, does he know to re-aggress on Secret, too? They're scared and walking away. Robs is getting closer. Brokey starting to tuck into Hell and not seeing anybody now. Twist is still alive, also waiting for them to greet them in the upstairs site. They're going up and above. That might be heard. Bomb goes down.
No. No, not like this. Brokey.
Okay.
He falls. They deal with twists. It's Rops and Rops alone. Doubling back from ramp into the lobby. Yabi's back's turned. He catches it, but does no damage. 1 versus 3 for Rob. 20 and 8. He goes for the AK.
Yeah.
niko plays the bait. And Copenhagen Flames play the advantage in pistol to take a second at least in this half.
Rob's definitely mad. He was going to go for that. I feel like 6 months ago, Robs just takes that AK, turns around right away, but he had the right. He had the right. He definitely had the ability. He's having a game. But they survived that. That could have come down to the Deagle and the Heaven guy. 4-13. Pistols again here from FaZe.
Zyphon fully blinded. 5-7 gives chase right into Yabi. And Zyphon able to lock it in. So they're expectant of the lobby crunch, but a mismanaged Molotov will cause Yabi at least. Still, very easily recoverable. Another attempt here from Twist. He walks in, finds another player.
Can't throw any mollies.
You better keep them guns up.
Sun's out, guns out.
Twist goes back in and dies, as it should be. Versus the T-side start here for the Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah, they're just saying, give us a break, man.
Please, Papa. B-site clear. Rain goes down, insta headshot. Deagle attempt here from Brokey. Oh, niko. Sharp as needed.
That's nice.
That's 5 now for the Copenhagen Flames. 8 rounds to the advantage, of course, for FaZe. But that gun round is about to come out from the defense, and we'll see if this second half is truly short-lived.
Yeah. Brokey's going to have no util, and Flames will take a timeout. This is their kind of establishing round, knowing that FaZe come in with a lot more money than they've seen so far. niko is top fragging, but it's, it's in a match where, I don't know, that impact isn't really felt in the same way it was in the first 2. But, I mean, one thing is true, that he has been one of the standout players and the most consistent across the series. He has Don Hackey in tears with these op shots.
Cry is free.
Yeah.
Maidenless behavior.
Yes.
All right, Flames, let's see it. You gave us a show on Ancient with that comeback attempt. This comeback attempt actually starts with a pistol round win, which is one step better. But it also feels like they need to go one step further in contrast to that second map. They'll get to Secret for free. Win a few gun rounds and we'll start talking. Brokey gets up close. He's got more than one body to deal with, and he gets into the vent just as they start to come around the corner.
Ooh.
Insta-kill for Brokey. Down goes niko, the top fragger for the Flames.
Damn. He made such a fast rotation. He got comfy inside the vent. I feel like they heard his scope, but they didn't react accordingly.
Dodges the flash.
But he's one lower. He's one lower. They're starting to run back, and Rain is just letting everybody know. He's got the walkie-talkie out saying, okay, they gave up on you, Brokey. They're coming back to me.
Rebound. And he can't stop it.
Okay.
Playing with the tech. Gets toppled. Brokey, though,
What?
he'll find Yabi. Where's that one happening?
I don't even know. Oh, he went up the vent.
Oh, my
He
God.
got some kind of wall bag. Now he's going to go back down the vent in case they want to try to avoid him.
Such a little gremlin, man. Hiding down in the troll caves. He gets hooksy. He is everywhere, Brokey.
Jesus.
4 versus 2. Copenhagen Flames by starting to subside. Roy on one end of this lower bomb site, Zyph in the other, and he's just hoping to get past the cave troll, which he will. But by the time he hits this B site, he's got 40 HP and no teammates to work with. Brokey guns him down with a headshot point blank. FaZe on 14.
Wow, he's got a good feeling for the game, doesn't he, Brokey? Coming up the vent, going down the vents. And they were actually just trying to avoid him as much as possible. That was crazy. His rotation was so fast, they thought no way he could get to the vent. He took a risk there. It didn't look like it. Perceptibly, from what we could see, he had the space to do it, but that's actually very hard to know if you're in that moment, right? How fast are they going to be down secret? Could nikodas already have been posted on the vent?
How is that a headshot?
His confidence is huge right now.
Sometimes I don't understand how fast this kid is.
The pride of Latvia.
Oh. That's Kerrigan with the blind spray. Gets the better of Hooksy. Buy-in for the Flames was good, but man disadvantage already. Yabi kind of stuck in this spot here. Bullets zinging by. Robs gets aggressive from ramp with that op. The second for FaZe in this round. Robs the Cyclops just walking through lobby, scoped in.
Okay,
But the moment he
dude.
rounds that corner, Zyphon's going to nail him to the wall, as it should be. Roy starts to wrap around Mini. Can't manage Kerrigan in that closest corners and twists. Is here to support
I think
as the IG all falls back.
I think Kerrigan baited him. He ran away, walked right back into it. Siphon brings one home.
Keeping it sharp.
Yeah, 3 on 3. Another mini
Mini
lurk
peek.
coming out.
Brokey and Kerrigan still in position. Brokey swoops down to the bomb site to try and hold off with Kerrigan. And Zyphon, he's doing everything he needs to. 4 kills on the round to give Copenhagen Flames and Denmark a little hope. But it has been rain all day. And as he comes into the heavens, they're going to know about it. Zyphon down beneath him dead. Yabi on the open floorboards looking for the clutch.
No, he
but
gets
the
it.
headshot connects. And rain siphons any life left from Copenhagen Flames.
Did he die? Wait,
What?
did he just die? Wait, because he didn't defuse just now, right? He fell out of heaven.
He just
Hold on. How much health does he have? 49, 23. Oh my god, he fell out of heaven.
He died, didn't he?
Oh my god.
The Norwegian stone golem.
Oh
the
my
bigger they
God.
are, the harder they fall.
Oh, that's too funny. Wait, okay, this would be absolutely tragic and ridiculous and hard to stomach if this was a closer match. I would just like to say that. They did get 5 players, and there's still so much of a lead. I think they can smile about this. Of course, that was match point. Okay, that was match point. I mean, Rain definitely did the hard part of that clutch. I'll say that much.
Oh my god.
The rest, most can figure out, but gravity is your worst enemy at sometimes.
Well, what if it's Copenhagen Flames' biggest ally?
If that's the reason that they come back into this, I don't know. So we'll see about that.
What in God's
But it looks like the Zyphon 4K entry was not in vain.
Let's just give him the ace. Ceremonially. Rain trying to recover. Twist gives good cover.
Oh,
2 kills.
no.
Robs
Okay.
comes out from secret.
All right, yeah.
And the laughter can continue here for FaZe because it looks like 15th locked in.
There's all these demons walking around outside ready to pick you off.
Ghoulish.
Roy's in an interesting spot. I don't know. They're not aware of this timing, so there's a chance, and now the attention is drawn from Yabi, who can go
Missing
back
ball.
through the lobby. But they're going to wait for Yabi's rotation. It's really hard for Roy, I think, to get back into this. If he walks in a hut, it's the move. Oh, he's found Kerrigan.
All right, that's not half bad.
Oh!
In what world?
Oh, can we go back in time, please?
In what world does that not kill him? How is Roy?
Just
Roy.
gonna have to walk that one off, I think.
No.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
Roy?
It's been a series of unfortunate events here today, folks. Yeah. Oh my god, would they have won that round? What is happening, man? 15 here for FaZe. I guess tragedy begets tragedy because we've got 2 in a row. It's FaZe ultimately come out ahead. 5 dead on that previous round into a low buy, which is probably a symptom of why Roy didn't get that kill in the first place. And now everybody is off the table here for Copenhagen Flames.
It's all over, man. It's done. FaZe, just an absolute domination here on Nuke, and they will, with that, despite the jokes and laughter and shenanigans at the end, qualify for playoffs. So a very serious result at the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it matters, man.
They join NaVi and Team Spirit as the first 3 teams to qualify into the playoff bracket here in the Antwerp Major. And Copenhagen Flames, at the very least, still have a chance to get through. They push FaZe to their limit. Other teams will be scared of them. But this was a win that was a bit too far out of reach, as we could see from Nuke.
Yabi was on the floor just now. That's tragic. That's tough, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, difficult place to be in. And again...
Oh, well, I mean, the reason he takes these losses so hard because he's so damn good, I can understand. I mean, maybe he felt like there was a way back into that game, but they were not playing good enough CS there on Nuke for him to warrant them feeling bad for themselves. They just have to play better next time.
After Inferno, it felt like they were going to do it. Like they, with Spirit, were going to have that Cinderella run, keep it clean, keep it convincing, a little turning of, changing of the guard maybe for playoffs.
It's 2 majors now, right? Because the last major comes down to the LNZ P250 on Ancient at match point to stop them from getting through into top 8. And now they're touching on it. But they know that this wasn't a given. They know this is a very hard one to... It's arguably even harder than last time because of all the other teams that have come up outside of NaVi and are now just as scary. But it doesn't mean they're out. It doesn't mean they're out. They play good enough CS to beat a lot of teams in the bracket. And I'm sure that those teams are going to be just as scared of them.
They've got one more chance.
Yeah.
But for now, we've just got to fixate on the congratulations for FaZe.
Yeah.
They are in playoffs. They took a bit of a longer road than some would have expected, but the favorites, the slight favorites as they've been considered, have managed, and they will be heading to the stadium. We pass this one back over to Freya and her analysts.
Fantastic work, gentlemen, as always. And of course, huge congratulations to FaZe for making it through to the major playoffs. They do it in style on an absolute massacre of a Nuke when we're looking at things like that. The fashion that they do it, sure, a few calamities towards the end. Maybe we'll just close our eyes
we won't talk about
moment comes up. But other than that, just looking incredibly confident through and through.
Yeah, very commanding, very commanding. I could definitely imagine FaZe being the better team on Nuke. What I didn't imagine was that they would completely take Flames for a spin on their T side. It was Kerrigan, absolute maestro of the calling. Robs went back online.
Yes.
We had called him out. We said we needed to see more, and he found so many of these kills you were alluding to from that hut/door area. Everything was coming together for FaZe, and they demonstrated how powerful they can be.
Yeah, and even the other narrative of Rain versus Roy, Rain had his number for so much of that. I think Roy got a couple of kills by the end on the Rain, but either way, great stuff coming out from FaZe. It's what we wanted to see, and I'm glad that FaZe were able to bounce back after Inferno. If you looked at this series when the veto comes out as to where Copenhagen Flames' win conditions were, to me, it was Ancient and it was Nuke, but they actually won on Inferno, and then FaZe cleanly bounced back on the other 2.
And honestly, if you're going to the playoff as FaZe are going, it's nice to get tested a little bit.
Yeah.
It's nice to get the adrenaline going. It's nice to have to fight back, to figure out solutions, to find yourself in a hole, because you're going to have to do that in the span of a best of 3, maybe another one. Maybe you lose the first lap of the quarterfinal. If you have that mileage, the mileage that they got from that game, I think is a huge asset moving into the playoffs.
I'm just feeling kind of sorry for Roy because I feel like you might have manifested that slightly, Maui, coming into this the duel that you just alluded to between him and Rain. Yeah, why are you doing this, man?
Man, I just throw out a lot of predictions out there. Some of them work. A lot of them don't.
Sometimes
but
maybe
some
good.
Some of them work.
Sometimes
Yeah. had FaZe in this one, though. Had FaZe in this one, and I'm glad it came true. For the narrative's sake, for FaZe's sake, this feels like it is, in some ways, their time. It's their time. They still got a lot to prove, though.
Harrigan's time.
All right.
Joining us up here. Thank you so much. Congratulations, first of all, man. Thank you for joining us up here. Your 9th major playoff, I believe, Mr. Carrigan. Does the feeling ever get old, or are you still as excited to be entering the arena?
I feel it's about time. I think it's since 2018 when I was in in-game leading in the FaZe at London. That's the last time I made playoffs. So
true, yeah.
Obviously being back here, I was really close with Mouse, so it's good to be back in playoff.
Yeah, congratulations on the best of 3. I had a question in my mind. You came into this major, and a lot of people put you guys as the favorite. A lot of people say this is your major to win. Can you give me a few words as how you are handling it? How's the team handling this situation? It's quite unique to be in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think being favorites to win a major is always tough, right? Whatever game you play, if you don't win, it's kind of not good enough. I would say if you play NaVi and we lose that game, people will kind of understand that, right? But obviously coming to this major, what I've tried to do is just like what we're going to do to win the major is making history. So trying to break down the pressure, right? If what we're going to do and what we're favorites to do is going to make history, then it's fine. And I just try to acknowledge that pressure comes with people have expectations because we're doing good. So it's just trying to break it down and don't think about doing the game. And the first goal was to make playoff. And I feel like when you go into playoff, it's just a different game than a group stage. Now you play a best of 3, elimination, go home or go further, right?
You almost feel like the hardest part is behind you now. You've gone to the playoff, and this is where you shine with the team.
Yeah, I mean, from now on, I mean, if we meet a really great team who plays a great game and you lose in quarterfinal, there is no shame in that. I think this was the first step, and we are ready. And right now, it's 3 games away from winning the tournament. But yeah, treating the tournament as like we have done with Katowice and Pro League, I think that's the main thing for us. Just try to not to think about what it means to win a major, because it is, like I said, international team winning a major is history.
All right, I just had one question coming into this very specific game. I had you extremely favorite on Inferno. Honestly, I put my money in there. I said, FaZe, they know what they got to do. It's going to be easy. Were you surprised by what they threw at you? What do you think it's on your end that things went a little bit south? How did you guys explain that situation in the first map?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have so much info on Inferno, but it's a map I'm fine to play. Just our defaults, have it or execute and stuff like that. So I kind of knew what's going to happen, but I felt like everything was wrong. The initiative wasn't there. The trading was not on point at all. And the individual players didn't really get the duels, right? When I was dead, I looked left and right, everybody just dying in the duels. So yeah, I think it was one of those like early games. So far we lost an early map and we lost the early game against Ence, right? So I think now we're coming into playing at 4 p.m. and that's like a gamer time for our team. Like they grind a lot in the night, and I think coming on to the next match we are more awake, I think. So it's more like when you lost in frame, we're like, okay, this is gonna be 2 tough maps. But in the end, it's 2 maps we've never lost with Rubs, right? So coming into the last 2 maps, I had a really good feeling.
How about when you guys had the Ence game? So for that one, for example, it also felt like you guys started kind of slowly into that. What do you think you can do to make sure that everybody comes in hot? Because I think we definitely saw that here on map number 1 and in that game too.
Yeah, I think it comes down to having a little late schedule, and that's like part of being a pro gamer. It's always hard to tell people to go bed at 12 when they like to play late, right? So I'm trying to have a good structure for myself and trying to be on point, so at least I'm there mentally and trying to support the guys. But yeah, we have to wait and see if it happens, keep on happening the next few months, that we just lose the game that's like at 11 a.m. or at 12, right? Then we need to figure out, because it's not really worth it, right? But in the end, the last 2 matches is going to be played pretty late, so let's see if the boys are shining now.
Okay. Another thing is, coming into this event, I mean, you guys took down Katowice, took down Pro League. There's clearly a target on your back. Do you think that people are prepping for you more specifically than they were earlier?
I think at this point, people are going to punch and try to find out a solution with our map pool. When you look at our stats, there's not many places you can go, right? And today we played an Ancient and a Nuke team that's really good and beat different top teams. And like we're coming on top of that and having 100% win rate on Ancient and having like close to 90% on Nuke. And in my opinion, Inferno might be our best map, but it is hard to keep winning on that map. But right now, people have to figure out what is our worst map, and right now I feel good on every map, basically.
Okay, I'll have one more question about just kind of how you guys sometimes play out mid-round situations. I would attribute, I'd say, some of what happened on Inferno, but more so what happened in the loss to Ence to sometimes individual peaks and things like that, where you guys aren't really playing perfect CS, but you're playing still strong CS that emphasizes your individual ability. But when it's not clicking, and we saw that it could happen, what's the fallback plan?
Yeah, I think you saw at the end of the game here we tried to do some fast executes and getting that trading potential, and I think it was hard to figure out exactly where it was wrong, because yeah, you can go trade, but if you don't get the trade because you're not winning your duel, then what do? There's no really fallback plan, right?
Yeah.
So I felt like we tried kind of everything on Inferno, tried to play our default, tried to take banana, and then tried to fake banana, explode A, but every time we came up somewhere, the trades was not on point, and if you just hesitate 2-3% against any good team, that's the 2% where the rotation over the in or the flash is coming and the guy repeaks, right? So yeah, in my opinion, it came down to just like not fully there yet, and maybe maybe a little nervous in the beginning, because maybe we feel like we have to win that game, but yeah, I think they kind of pissed us off after that Inferno game, and then we went into to show that, especially on Nuke, right? The way we played, it was that's the way I love when FaZe is playing. It's disrespect and going for the flashes, but we played together, and I think it was a great game overall.
Okay. To ask more specifically about Ancient as well, of course, you alluded to the 100% success rate on that in terms of your recent matches, and specifically with ROPS as well. We've seen you be really dominant on those CT sides, but it hasn't really allowed us to see too much of the T sides for you guys. So how comfortable are you feeling on those T sides, maybe compared to the CT side of Ancient?
Yeah, I think from the practice we have had, obviously this is the first time where we have to play a longer T side, and like the way they play is very different compared to other teams. I feel like I had a good game plan, but again, sometimes there's a little misunderstanding that we couldn't react in time, and I also think we felt some nades here and there, which is really tough on T-side Ancient, and losing the anti-echo and it starts like that. So yeah, I feel like we didn't show everything we have on Ancient, but obviously we showed some of the tricks we had, and Coming Flames is a really good Ancient team, and they handled it pretty good. So yeah, I think I learned something today from what we didn't experience in practice, and we can improve on that for the next stage.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to get to see more of Ancient going forward. Definitely going to get to see more of you, Karrigan. Congratulations to yourself.